Welcome back to Monday Night Lights, where we've got King versus Florida State. That was probably so loud in the microphone. I apologize for that. But we have King versus Florida State on the show. First up, this would normally be like a title card. Title card's not the right term. What's the main card? Whatever the proper card term is. This is normally what that would be. But it's at the start of the show. We are kicking off with an absolute banger. And if you're wondering why Dronis is not beside me right now, I'm not sure where he is right now. But I have to make another booth, so we're gonna Dronis might hop in later. We'll see. But at the moment, it's just me for what should be one of the marquee matchups of the season for the SEL. For Monday Night Lights. This should be an absolute heater. And so much so that I feel like I need to tweet about it. I haven't done that yet. But we're still waiting on King to get in here. So, well, I don't want to type in front of the stream. But if you're excited about this, go retweet my my MNL post or something. Up to you if you want to help advertise it. I try to do as much plugging as possible. You should, if you're on the RL chat in the SEL server, Fries was just added Big Wade and he's like, "You're free," and I replied to that. I was like, "Tune in to twitch.tv/MrBepic if you want to see if he's correct or not." So I love a good advertisement, especially when it's for my stream, and secondarily, especially when it's for an SEL match, as this should be an incredible series. Last time they played, and I really should have had this prepared. Give me just 1 second to click through a couple of links I've got on hand, because I want to see exactly what the results were the last time these two teams played each other. They should be getting in just a second, so I should have enough time. I might share my screen as well if I can maneuver that. But okay, everybody's still getting set. I can't find the SEL Season 4 bracket. That is a shame. All right, never mind. I don't remember. If you remember what the series score was the last time King and Florida State played, then you will get a pat on the back from me, virtually, of course. But this is for second place in the Elite 8 Group 1, and I talked a lot about it on my State of the SEL show, about the implications of this series, because the winner will likely get to choose between either Montevallo or Florida, or UNCC and UAH Blue. And of those 4 teams, I'm taking probably UF if all the series go according to plan. I'm not taking UAH Blue or UNCC. So the loser is going to be stuck with either UAH Blue or UNCC. The winner has the choice of probably whoever UTK doesn't end up choosing. Sorry, not UTK. Bruton Parker doesn't end up choosing. So everybody's in the lobby. We should be getting ready to go. I'm gonna ask them. And we should be getting this thing underway in a moment. I'm just giddy for this series. Like, this is... I am a Rocket League nerd. And I've accepted that fact. And this is a series that gets the very excitable Rocket League nerd side of me very excited with both the implications of this series, the rematch that this series is, and just the quality that I'm expecting of this. Florida State, over the weekend actually, just placed top 4 in the CCS Championship, which is the Collegiate Championship Series. That's my good friend Nation's conference, or not conference, the collection of conferences in like the ACC, AAC, We got the Big 12 playing in it. I forget the fourth conference. But Florida State came in second in the ACC, only losing to Syracuse, who's another really good roster. And then they upset Wichita State in Game 7, reverse swept Texas Tech, and they lost to San Diego State in Game 7. So they very nearly were finalists against Kansas, who were a CRL team last semester. The team that just double whiffed on their goal line was nearly a grand finalist playing against Kansas. So Florida State's on right now. And King is going to be another good test. Just today, ranked in the colleague top 48 poll. So is UTK, so is Bruton Parker from the SEL, and I have it on good authority that FSU was 2 rankings out of the top 48. They placed 50th overall. So this is a top 50 CRL team in North America matchup, and it's showing so far. Very back and forth. Well, ish. FSU is only really just now getting their first opportunity in the last minute or so. They have been penned back in their defensive end. But they haven't conceded. Even with some awkwardness, even with some double commits, they have not conceded as Storm flips back into that attempted clear by Cynical. A little bit awkward for King. Even more awkward is Luigi's got nothing in the tank, but Storm couldn't commit until just now. Luigi backs off, collects that 100, but Cynical takes a shot. It clangs off the post. Florida State dodging a bullet. That is the closest that King has gotten to scoring so far in this game. Still nothing in game 1 as Fries is taken out. Deep in enemy territory, actually. Demo kind of coming out of nowhere, and this was a dangerous opportunity as Luigi looking to put Florida State on the board, but Storm finds a save. Wade finds a shot. It's a little bit off, but it works. Oh, if that isn't one of the most big Wade plays that I've seen in a while, I don't know what it is. Puts the shot out to the side, makes Fries play that ball awkwardly, and then just cleans up on the FSU goal line. And he gets King on the board first. But off kickoff, FSU have themselves an opportunity. The Storm gives that to Trix, and that is a freebie returned. Wade's awkward, gets bumped off the play. Storm would have been better off not touching that, honestly. And FSU are given one back. Wade, already with the first goal in hand, going to the ceiling. Sorry, going to Cynical with that one. The pass off the backboard. Fry's doing the same thing as Wade misses. Cynical's awkward. This is weird. At the moment, a top 50 matchup in North America, yes, but still prone to a little awkwardness at times. That's what FSU can do to you. Nice beat by Storm. Gets through Trix. Fries not going to be able to dodge Wade's attack. Trix gets tripped up by Storm. Some midfield jousting ensues on the pitch, but King comes out on top of it. Storm looking for pressure. Cynical looking for space. Goes off the back wall, looking to dish it in, but Trix has himself, Luigi has himself a save. Now Trix passing to Fries, finds a goal! What a play by Florida State! Fries has no boost, just looks to steal something, but stays in the play and dunks Cynical. That's impressive from the Seminoles. And that is a second goal for Florida State. And that's an opening. That's an open net, sorry. For Trix, what happened here? Storm heading for the kickoff, loses it, and Big Wade fails to cheat. Trix cleans up, 3-1. Florida State have themselves a buffer. And in their CCS playoff run, Florida State, I swear to you, was the best kickoff team I have ever seen. Got so many kickoff goals against Wichita State. But here we go. King finding themselves a post-kickoff goal. 16 seconds after the goal is scored. But a nice flick there. Secures the open net. And cuts the deficit to 1. What does King have for us in the final 40? In my eyes, the winner of this series, top 2 in the SEL. So you're playing for that. That's stature. The runner-up to Bruton Parker at the moment. And both teams are going to dodge BPC until the winners finals in the playoffs, but you still want to be that second place behind them. Still want to say we're right there with you. Despite a loss, 3-1. King need to do it on 0 seconds. They can't find a goal, so Florida State find first blood after a Game 1 victory. I'm just now realizing I forgot to set up my notebook as well, so give me just a second. You think it's an L take, Joe, bro? Well, I'll give you a sneak peek into my power rankings tomorrow. I have the winner of this as number 2 overall, and I have the loser of this as number 4 overall. And sandwiched in there, in what I think could be a controversial take, is UTK. So I still think you guys are a top 3 team. I've decided to change my formula for power ranking a little bit. I tried to be strictly adherent to results. and the recency of those results is Florida State find a kickoff goal. So give me a moment. I'll discuss power rankings another time when there's more of a lull in the series, when Florida State isn't taking a 1-0 Game 2 lead. As their kickoff prowess, again, is being flexed. Luigi off the back wall trying to clear the zone. Cynical trying to close the gap that's now been opened up. By FSU. To pop out, and King doing that thing again, where they find an avalanche of pressure that Florida State's going to have to try to withstand. That miss from Cynical, I think, is going to be a confirmation of their withstanding that pressure. That's an open net. Can Luigi get on top of this ball? No, he can't. Difficult open net to hit, but an open net one nonetheless. Storm. Weird pop right there. Almost found an extra touch to get through Fries, but Dice. Love the setup, though. King went up empty-handed once more. That looks to be an open net, and Storm slots it. Not quite the fancy footwork he had on his last attempt on the orange goal, but it's more effective. Did I just change overlays? I don't think so. Not intentionally. Sometimes Borrow will give me a different overlay than what I usually rock with. King did get swept by Auburn, Joe, but that was a while ago. A one-off sort of thing, I feel, because they've looked good since. The win over Buds. Right now, going toe-to-toe with Florida State. This is why this series is so big for me. So if they can beat Florida State, I think they deserve top 2. Even with that loss to Auburn. Right now, their offense is piecing together plays. Florida State is a tough defense to crack. That's weird. Tricks. Pick him from the goal to meet that ball. But King with Cynical on the goal. Not going to be as threatening as I thought he might be. That's something he likes to go for. Is that kind of cherry pick opportunity. Oh, but Luigi with 0 boost somehow got a pass to Fries there. And Fries couldn't turn it in. A confident play by Fries to trust that pass was going to get through the King front line. Especially with what I'm sure was a zero boost call. Cynical off the side wall. Finds Storm down below. The longtime teammates linking up. Fries with 80 boost. What more damage can FSU do to King down the sideline? The great 50. The pass, a little weak, but it finds Tricks nonetheless. Big Wade snuffs it out, however. Beautiful defensive play. Now it's King. Have to really take their time to break out. Wade has been coming up clutch, making reads against Florida State's offense, and now scoring a go-ahead goal. Big Wade, making himself the biggest Wade possible. Luigi and Tricks miscommunicate. Big Wade says, "You don't do that. Not when I'm in the area." He punishes Florida State for some awkward defense. Now FSU suffering their first deficit of the series. Big Wade down to Storm. Storm, no touch. But the FSU defense, the same fate. Not even a slight bump on that ball. That allows King a little bit more time spent in offense. They do eventually have to back off. The Seminoles starting again from the midfield line where Cynical shuts them down. Luigi, no touch. Cynical just one. Luigi upfield, trying to weave a little web of passes. Florida State having a tough time getting through King defenders. Big Wade especially is making great reads defensively. And that is absolutely where this team needs him. Because Storm and Cynical are more than capable in the offensive end. It's that defensive King that suffers at times. And if Big Wade can be the rock that this team needs, and be productive offensively, then oh boy, is King a threat. And Big Wade has been productive offensively. Almost right there finding one. That's a fake. And he gets up to keep possession in the name of the Tornado. King, however, wasting time nicely. Have to be careful and leave themselves open in transition. Which Big Wade does exactly. Commit for FSU. It's Fries and Tricks. But the play is going to slow in the corner as Cynical has control, has a beat, and would have a third goal if there was any time left on the clock. There isn't, however. And so King take game 2. Leveling us up here. And that's more like it. Only 2 shots for Florida State there. That is the big story. A serious slowing down of offensive productivity. They had 11 in game 1. To be sent down to just 2. And no, Graydon, not all 3 are King, or wait. All 3 King are not KBM players. Let's see. Storm, I think, is the lone controller player. It's either Storm or Cynical. Because Turbo, Wade, and what I believe is Cynical, we're all Tornado players. Okay, Storm plays controller. Cool. Thank you, Joe. Yep. Storm's the only controller player. But they are a roster in which the majority of the team is KBM, which I think is awesome, personally being a KBM player. And they aren't only KBM. I think Wade's the only KBM player. Turbo and Cynical are both KB players, if memory serves. Either way, they're goats for it. And they're looking to take a series lead in Game 3 on DFH Stadium, the site of this epic Elite 8 group play. I say epic. It's been a little weird. The awkward style of play feels like, not strategy for both teams, but this matchup just produces awkward styles of play. With FSU being so creative defensively with their rotations, and King being a team that goes for just about every touch they possibly can. Though in defense, they've been playing patiently. Storm's pass right there, unsuccessful. Perhaps he's just playing the long game, waiting to get that ball to Cynical. Okay, Cynical's the only controller player. Alright, well, the misinformation, you know, most of the things we said were still true. Alright, I'm stretching, Sarah. Ugh, I gotta be ready, because Florida State almost found the opening goal. That was a nice sequence of offense for them. They've been having to play offense really in bits and pieces, as King's midfield presence has been suffocating FSU. And Tricks I feel for right there, having the 100 boost in the corner spawn right as he left. Wade missing out on that opportunity to shoot. Cynical has the ball bopped over his head. And this is where the Seminoles have been living and dying by the transition game. And it has been somewhat stunted so far. Again, just 2 shots for Florida State. Matching, albeit, their total for the entirety of last game, but King still putting on pressure. Now, surprisingly, that's only their first opportunity of the game. Looks like a lot more shots have developed for King, considering they've now scored on just their second shot. It's been Storm both times taking the shot, but it's Cynical with a dime of a pass that breaks down the FSU back line. 1-0. The Tornado on the board first. And Florida State's been held fairly in check since their 3-goal outpouring in game 1. That's a miss. But the boost was secured, so FSU should have the boost funds to get out right here. Those midfield reads still working out for King. Of the creativity. Team pinch goes just wide. Tricks. Luigi close behind. Again, spearheading a counterattack that has not worked out for the Seminoles. They've been playing close quarters in counterattack mode with one another. It hasn't quite worked out. It's the reads are not there for FSU, whereas they have been for King. I mean, that turn from Cynical, perfect. It's the ball to Storm, back to Cynical, and to the back of the FSU net. 2-0. King really storming back after a close game 1 loss. Had you thinking, okay, maybe Florida State has what it takes to take down King. Right here, King answering that call nicely. Their challenge game has been on point, but Fries harassing Cynical, who still finds a touch on the ball out to Wade, who gets it clear. A fake that makes things a little awkward. Now, Luigi afforded a shot opportunity, but Storm found contact not shortly thereafter. Shot was registered. Storm. And there, too tight an angle even for him. Now Florida State have to act fast. That's a miss, though. And that's not the fast acting I was hoping for. Big Wade, a soft touch. Thought would invite Storm into the play, but he backs off, playing it safe. So Florida State making Wade play awkwardly. That ball, though, touched at the last possible moment by Wade. And he saves what could have been a crazy last couple of seconds of Game 3 from ever happening. Game 3, falling the way of King. 6 shots to 5, a little bit better from FSU, but no goals for the Seminoles. They do not have it right now in offense, as it's another game where King dominates the field domination stat category. Alright, what's going on? There we go. Game 4. Can King close things out in 4? Does FSU force a game 5 now? Fries intercepting what looked like an attempted pass. Oh, I didn't redeem the posture check. My bad, my bad. I know the posture was bad there. I'm locked in at the moment. Remind me when we go back to cams. In between this game and next. It's game 5. Come on. Has to be a possibility. Unless Cynical's hitting stuff like that. What a shot that was. Just goes a little wide. But now the net's open for Wade. Luigi can't get there for the save. And King continue their scoring spree. That's a bunch of misses, a couple of bumps, and 1 King goal. All it took was 37 seconds. And King find themselves out in front. Cynical. A pass that Wade couldn't read off the car bodies of the 2 FSU players that were trying to read that pass. Still, King's defense giving nothing to Florida State. They can't establish their offense. They can't score in transition. FSU, it feels like, just has nothing right now. There they were beaten at the midfield line. That ball intercepted. Fries has to dive back for a block. And again, Fries called into action. Tricks just dumping that ball off. Dump and chase. Not going to work against King. They're too fast. But nothing in the tank of Tricks. Boostless. Still fighting for possession. Fries. A dump off ball to Tricks. Storm plays it out to the side quickly. Erasing any possibility of an FSU goal right there. But oh no, has FSU overextended? Big Wade's in a 1v1 versus Tricks. Tricks ends up coming out on top of, but King a shot. Nothing doing. It's gone back to that slow, methodical offense. We've seen a lot of out of King. Is trying for that perfect touch and taking their time to do it sometimes, and it's suffocated the FSU offense as they struggle to get out of defense and stay out of defense. Storm, a miss. Is Big Wade ready for it? Yeah, he is. Of course he is. Fries can't capitalize on an awkward Cynical as Big Wade buys enough time for his teammates. Luigi, flip reset. Shut down by Cynical. Fries a pop. He'll stick with it as Tricks secures the 100 in the midfield, but the ball goes nowhere. Big Wade on the side. Fries will turn. This is an opportunity for FSU. The net exposed, but Storm there. Fries across the box once more. Luigi, pop back to Fries. King clear with a pinch. Defending this 1-goal lead nicely. Trying to walk it over the finish line. Fries, chance for a dunk. Cynical just plows through the Seminole on his back wall. Now 1v2, Storm and Cynical versus Luigi. But Fries tries to help out. And I think just did more harm than good. Because Luigi had that block. Instead, Fries undercuts the ball and gives King a second goal. 90 seconds left. Florida State. Where's the magic that they had over the weekend? Where is the Seminole team that took down Wichita State in 7? Who took SDSU to 7? We gotta see them again in these last 75 seconds. Or else they fall for just the second time this season. Once to South Carolina. Now perhaps a second time to King. Both losses within the top 10. but losses nonetheless. They need something soon. There it is. There's Fries and Tricks. Popping up a little bit of something on the King end. As the Tornado overcommit. Cynical off the respawn. Gets a little unlucky. That allows a passing play. And Florida State are not dead yet. The Seminoles are still breathing in Game 4. And scored since Game 2. Now they need a second in the final 45. Wade pass gets through Fries. That's a nice ball. But an out for FSU. Fries couldn't get all of that shot. This one, though, he can, but it clings off the bar. Cynical trying to clear. Just finds Tricks waiting in the wings. He's back up, trying to beat Wade, but no can do. Wade's been too good in defense this series. Storm levies a shot on. Nice touch there from FSU. Won't actually get them out. Wade's missed the ball at the midfield line. It's awkward now as Tricks pops the ball up. Luigi waiting. He's got to deal with the player behind him. Storm, the last man to beat the ball, does stay up on 0 seconds, however, but Storm there to ground it. And King win in 4. They are, I feel, the de facto #2 team in the SEL with that win. As Florida State being the fall split winners, kind of felt that way. Now, even after Bruton Parker made their run. But King stake a claim to the stature, to that title and the SEL, I feel. Top 2. The Tornado are back. And what a series. All 1-goal games? No, okay. It was a King 2-0. I don't know where Dronis is. I added him, and he was not around. So, still MIA. Hope everything's all right with him. Because I know he wanted to cast this series. He would have enjoyed this one. So I'm disappointed for him, but they're the posture checks. There you go, guys. Since you're dropping Bepic points, making sure my posture's good. I appreciate ya. And the hydrate as well. I'm upright. I'm upright, guys. Don't worry about me. You're keeping me alive. Cheers. But who's to say there isn't already? It's my stream. I can do what I want. There's not. I've always wanted to do a drunk cast, though. I might have to... I have to do like a drunk Monday Night Lights over the summer. That'd be kind of funny. Where like every goal that gets scored, I take a sip or something. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Sarah, I do not trust you. I do not trust you on my stream drunk. I would barely trust you sober. Oh man. All right. Enough of that. See, I could handle it. I could handle being under the influence casting. I did it before just for friends, but I have not. I've not done that in any kind of public forum before. But next up, real quickly before I do go to a break, we have, and it's a stacked night of Monday Night Lights. A lot of SEL series on the docket here. But next up, whoa, I didn't put it up. Next up, there we go. We've got Oklahoma versus Oklahoma Wesleyan. This is the only best of 7 of the night, as it's an intra-Oklahoma matchup, and it's just a regular old show match. As Oklahoma has been eliminated from the SEL, and Oklahoma Wesleyan did not compete in the SEL this semester. They're just a team that I like having on Monday Night Lights, because they are very fun. They are very fun to watch. But thank you. Remind me of AJ. I have been told many a time that I look like AJ, and now he actually knows about it. It is canon in the MrBepic lore that AJ knows about the MrBepic AJ lookalike meme. because he actually followed me on Twitter after Tactical Banditry put out a Mr. Epic and AJ tweet. So that's probably my biggest flex, honestly, as a caster. Not like the RLCS main broadcast flex, not the casting in front of like 10,000 people at TwitchCon. It's that AJ followed me back after seeing the lookalike memes. So the next series is going to be happening at 7 Central, 8 Eastern time. So it's going to be a little bit of a break. I don't really have a... Actually, I do have State of the SEL from last week to play. So I might actually play that. The State of the SEL panel I did with Big Wade, Jobro, and Snipes last week. So that should be plenty of content to get you guys to 7 Central, 8 Eastern. So let me find that real fast. I'm not sure where I exported it to, I'll be honest. So give me just one moment. As I'm gonna throw to a break while I find that real quick. Nah, it's not like that, Sarah. It's just that drunk, I really don't think you could be professional. based on our unhinged conversations, I don't know. That would not turn out well. All right. I don't know where on earth I exported this to. This is kind of crazy. Oh, here we go. All right, we got the panel found. I knew I put it somewhere. Okay, this is a panel from last week's State of the SEL Live. So please enjoy. Don't go too far, though. We got a good series coming up in a bit. I'll be right back. All right, we're back, and we got a full deck on the State of the SEL Live show. Snipes, Big Wade, and Jobro. I'm just realizing I flipped the names. Oh, it's always something on my shows. So I'll fix that once I start asking some questions. But I've brought these big brains of the SEL on to talk about their season so far, what they think about the formats, playoffs, just about everything I could ask them in like the 20-minute time frame that I've got to ask them questions. So, welcome, guys. We're gonna be doing the spring semester first, but before we talk about that, I'm gonna start with you, Wade. How you feeling today? How's your Monday been so far?
Going good. Hanging in there. Spring break ended last week, so right back into the swing of things. It's going good.
Love to hear it. Joe, you guys are on spring break this week, right?
Yeah, we just started, so I got back home Saturday night after the basketball game, losing to Kentucky, but it wasn't very fun.
Hey, I feel that. I got to watch Kentucky beat Auburn when I was in Lexington for BBB, so that one hurt right there. But Snipes, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've been on spring break for just under 3 months now since I graduated, so it's been great, actually. You guys should try it.
Just graduate, and you'll be on spring break permanently. I feel that. But thanks for joining the show, guys. So now we're going to get into the meat of things. Snipes, your new format, I've loved so far from a content perspective. The group stages being randomized, then feeding into a tiered last chance qualifier, plus the Elite 8 groups, and playoffs staying the same, but I still love the double elim format. I want you to talk real quick about your thought process going into the format revamp and how you've thought it's panned out so far.
Yeah, I mean, you were there for the first iterations of ideas I proposed, which sucked, but the theme of them all were centered around the same ideas, which we talked about recently, but we want every single game that you play to matter, and we don't want boring stretches of the seasons for teams, and then we want to keep things fresh for teams at every level. We want their experiences to be unique, the sort of routes they can take to playoffs and everything to be unique. So part of the experience thing is randomized groups. Who knows who you're going to play? Like, if you're going to be in a good group, strong group, you get to watch the show. There gets to be anticipation every season instead of just being predetermined into a group where, yeah, we're probably going to be the 5 seed. And then to make every game matter, we said, all right, well, let's tier the LCQ. So all of a sudden, those mid-table teams that, hey, we're not Champ 2s, so we won't lose the group, but we're not SSL, so we're not going to win the group, so do our games even matter? Well, now they do, because you have a lot more to play for with how you're going to get seeded into the LCQ, and then the 1 seeds and 2 seeds don't just qual for playoffs and sit on the bench for 4 weeks. They get something to do, they get to look at the other top teams, they get to thoroughly play them, and then they get to have a little bit more vested into watching the rest of the league because they end up picking from those teams. So everybody gets to stay a little bit more involved every week.
And so I think the biggest, like, of the top seeds, I think the biggest team that got impacted by that format change is UTK with that Game 5 loss to UNC that stuck you guys as the 2 seed out of groups. And you were in the, no, you weren't in the group of death. Never mind. That was King. We'll talk about the group of death in a second. But Joe, how did that impact you guys? Like, you kind of dominated your Elite 8 group. So how have you felt about the format so far?
I mean, I honestly thought the format was fun. Like, it was different, and playing like a wide variety of teams because our group was very top heavy. I mean, it was still a lot of fun regardless. And obviously, the top heavy thing didn't help at the end when we had our Game 4 incident and didn't end up winning all of our matches. But it was still fun, and even though we weren't the team that ended up in that top group, I mean, you saw what we did to the lower teams, the 2nd seed, so I think it was pretty obvious that we should have been the team there. But it is what it is. I mean, it's part of the format, and I mean, it's kind of also beneficial because now they don't get to play us before playoffs. So there's a good thing and a bad thing that comes out of it, I guess.
Okay, and Wade, you were at the top side of your group of death, beating Kentucky in the last round of the season. Even though you got swept by Auburn, whatever. Well, I'll end the discourse on that. But
Easy.
but how have you enjoyed the format so far, from the group of death that you guys were playing in now to playing in the Elite 8 group?
I think the format was great. I mean, just like Snipe said, it was entertaining the entire way through. All the matches mattered, and you know, it came down to the last week in pretty much every group. And I mean, you can't ask for anything more. The loss to Auburn early in the season, 100% fluke. Like, not even close, not even anything else, but a fluke. It happens, you know. It's all right. We're good. But yeah, the format's been really good. I've enjoyed it.
Now, real quick to end the format discussion, and go back to you, Joe Bro, real quick. You have any idea who you're gonna draft yet? Are you cooking up anything out of the 2 teams that made it to the top side of the LCQ? Have you given any thought to who you might take?
I mean, I'm gonna watch the Arkansas-Alabama game tonight. So like, if Georgia ends up losing to Garnet, I've heard Garnet's annoying, and I really don't like playing annoying teams, so I probably won't pick them. But if Georgia does win, we'll probably pick them because we're familiar with them, and you know, who knows who they're playing with. They might be playing with 4 players from their C team, because that seems to happen pretty often.
Yikes.
So I mean, but you know, if Georgia looks really, really good and Arkansas doesn't look good tonight, then we might just end up picking them. But we haven't decided yet, and we haven't really talked too much about it.
How about you, Wade? You guys give it any thought to who you might take out of the bottom side of the LCQ, even though no one's qualified yet, but you might have a rough idea of who it might be?
I mean, I'm really liking the UNCC matchup. I think we match up really well with them. I'm also liking Florida. I mean, we played them in groups. They took us. I think they took us to 5. I think, but again, we played that Florida series right after the Auburn series, so that was probably at our lowest. So I think that could be a potentially good match for us. I mean, out of all the teams that are in the lower like LCQ, I really don't think that, you know, there's any good or bad picks. I think they're all just picks, and you know, whichever team we get, we're gonna be happy with, and we're gonna roll with it, and we're gonna hit the game plan, and we're gonna hit the ground running, you know.
All right, love it. It's a good mindset. You guys have good mindsets about who you're gonna take, like the research and the we'll play whoever we play. I love it. And I mean, Snipes, I'm gonna transition a little bit because I want to talk about team seasons so far. We've brushed on it a little bit with UTK and King, but your boys at Clemson, they got knocked out. How closely, first of all, do you still follow Clemson Rocket League, and also what happened with them?
I still follow pretty closely, which is to say that some of them ask me for coaching. Chosen specifically, gosh, I could talk for 20 minutes about that guy, but we won't. It's a PG stream. I followed pretty closely. I think our big setback, which wasn't an insult to either Canova or Chosen that got pulled up, was Darth Pepe and Wheezy, who have both played on the A team and been pretty successful. Both decided not to play this semester. Wheezy because tons of work, tons of hours, graduating, thinking about a master's program, super busy. And then Darth Pepe because he just became, I mean, he took like 20 credit hours, got super busy, and he just didn't have the time for it. And so it's just a new team. It's 2 freshmen, 1 sophomores. They ended up stumbling against a lower team, but everybody, on the panel has had that happen before. You guys are doing it from a higher place, so when you stumble, you're still well above that threshold of being competitive, but losing so much, like so many players in the last year or so, we're closer to that line and we got punished.
Okay, that's, man, it's such a good mindset. I was hoping for some like spicy comments, but
it's Chosen's fault. You can use it.
All right, there we go. Thank you. All right, Chosen's
yeah.
fault. Clemson has been eliminated, ending that playoff streak of theirs. But Joe Bro, you guys stumbled at the last kind of hurdle of groups, which it's whatever. It's a Game 5 loss. It's the way the format goes. But how have you guys approached the season after picking up Crisp, who like you added him to the roster, and I was fearful for everybody in the SEL.
I mean, it made our lives a lot easier. I'll just put it at that. I mean, obviously when you randomly stumble upon somebody like that goes to your school and you're like, oh, want to play? And he says yes, then, I mean, life is great it has been really. Obviously we're not like unbeatable like we kind of thought we were at the beginning. So, I mean, it eventually made us realize, oh, we're actually going to have to like scram in practice, and it's not just going to be super easy, which that wasn't fun because I was enjoying not having to play the game as much. That's always fun. But now that I think we've kind of realized that we have to put in some work, it's been fun, really, just getting to know Cody better, or Crisp. And now I think we're all close friends, and I think that's been kind of a staple of UTK Rocket League in general, just the friendship that we have here, and getting to add another guy to the group is always fun. So been a blast.
Such a sweet answer. I love it. And I mean, Wade, outside of the Auburn loss, outside of the bad day you guys had, I mean, your season has gone really well, beating Kentucky, who was undefeated on the last day of groups. And I mean, the Elite Eight, you guys haven't played the majority of your series yet, but are you feeling good going into playoffs, no matter how the Elite Eight shakes out?
Yeah, feeling really good. I mean, when you have players of the caliber that we have, and even with arguably our best player not being able to play this semester, still being able to fill that role and support the team in any way I can, and yeah, we're gonna be successful no matter what. Yeah, our season's been good, besides that one loss, and I think we're just gonna hold it down, rock with it. Let's go.
Love it. I mean, okay, and I have to ask you as well, since you've gotten firsthand experience, is Bruton Parker like actually that legit that they're 10-0 right now in the SCL? Are they going to go all the way? I mean, you don't have to say they're going to win it all, because obviously King's going to win it all and UTK is going to win it all, but like, is Bruton Parker a serious threat?
I mean, of course they're going to be a serious threat. I mean, Antics, Sino, Milk, all 3 of those guys are really good at the game. I obviously have been like in the lower part of the bubble, but still in the bubble. And I mean, yeah, we knew that going in. We knew that, and I mean, the match was pretty good. I mean, the games were all close.
All right, I'm coming back a little bit early. Our next series isn't starting for another 8 minutes, but I had to come back to thank Hana, Nebi. Thank you so much for the raid, bringing over, what was that, 30 viewers with you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Lights. This is my series of show matches where I cast Collegiate Rocket League teams in best of 7s and best of 5 if they're playing in the Southeastern Esports League. And I have wonderful people join me on the broadcast, like Mr. Feisty Taquito. Taquito, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm watching the stream, and yet again, I've got negative color in the back. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding on to whatever the last guy talked about, whatever he called it. That's what I'm holding on to right there. Like I'm dispersing it. You know what I mean? Okay, hey out, Lumen, listen. I know it's the wrong spelling. There's a lore to it. There's a story. I understand it's wrong. Just go with it. Let it happen.
Well, hold on. We got time before the next series starts. How deep is this lore?
Let's see. I made the username. Geez, I'm old. This year will be 32. I made the username 14 years ago. Yeah, made the username almost 14 years ago, and I was in college. I was a freshman in college, and we like to indulge in a little extracurricular activities when we were in college, and we get a little free time when we get to be adults. And taquito comes from the frozen Delimex beef taquitos. I don't know if you've ever seen those in the frozen section, but like those were my lifeblood.
Hey.
I lived off of those things my freshman year of college, and I went to spell the word feisty, and I typed it in as you guys see it. I typed it in like that, and I was like, this is 100% right. I was not inebriated, I promise. I was in no way under the influence of any mind-altering chemicals whatsoever. And I went with it, and then one day, about 5 years afterwards, some guy was like, hey, bro, you spelled your name wrong. And I was like, I did. I did spell my name
5 years?
wrong. Yeah, no one ever actually, like, corrected me. They were like, yeah, we get it. That's it. That's right. And I was like, thanks, guys. Thank you so much.
Huh. That's great. I didn't even notice it was spelled wrong, honestly. So I can believe that you made it that long without someone telling you that it was spelled wrong. That's awesome. I appreciate the lore, and it's no problem you made us come back early, Hannah, because like that I needed that story. I didn't know I needed that story, but I did. And we're gonna get some actual Rocket League coming up in about 6 minutes. Oklahoma Wesleyan versus Oklahoma. It's an intra-Oklahoma show match, essentially. I don't know how many collegiate teams there are in Oklahoma. I know probably at least 3 with Oklahoma State tossed in the mix, and Oklahoma Christian as well. So that's at least 4. So I don't know if this definitely isn't for like the best team in Oklahoma or anything, because Oklahoma Christian is definitely the best team in Oklahoma. But I mean, taquito, an interstate rivalry is still pretty serious.
And that's how I feel every time when I get to watch Collegiate Rocket League and I get to see UTA play UTD. That is exactly how I feel every time, because those are obviously the 2 best teams here in Texas. No one is better than UTA or UTD. And it's always a struggle because I love both those teams and I love both the programs. And obviously they've changed a lot from the players that we knew, you know, Samba, Adverse, and all them over on UTA, and then Dalton and Luby over on UTD, and it's you know they've grown since then, so some new faces, new program, but you still got to root for the old names because it's just fun to, you know, kind of have a little banter within your own state.
It is. I know in Alabama as well. Like it's a serious thing, and in Georgia I know it's real serious because Georgia
is so serious.
It's a deep Rocket League state. Like having UGA, Georgia Tech, Bruton Parker, KSU, and we can be here forever listing the teams in Georgia that can compete at a high level in Rocket League. So it's kind of fun. Like I've always been dreaming about like having state competitions to find the best teams in each state and then pitting them against each other. That's like a pipe dream sort of thing where if I ever get enough free time, I would love to do that because these kinds of matches are fun. Because you've probably never heard of Oklahoma Wesleyan or ever before. And I mean, Oklahoma...
I have.
Okay,
I actually have heard of it. Yeah, I've
Taquito's heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Texas, man. I live in
You're
Texas.
close,
I'm right beneath it. Yeah, I'm right beneath Oklahoma.
But most people probably have never heard of Oklahoma Wesleyan, and then you come to find out they've got like a GC2, GC3 Rocket League team. Like there's a lot of talent out there that can be showcased, and especially those local rivalries showcase them. We get a full best of 7 as well to show off this entire rivalry. And Oklahoma Wesleyan, their fans always show up as well. Like, they always host watch parties in their facilities, and Jordan's always telling me like, yeah, we got a bunch of people watching tonight. So I absolutely love the support that these programs get as well.
It is a good thing to see. Your mention of like getting the colleges to play against one another. Like, I know we have CRL Worlds, but like, what if we just had a LAN in each state that could like kind of do it like tri-state? Like, everybody in the tri-state area comes to this one central location and plays, and we have a LAN like that. Like, what if we did that for like the Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi kind of, area, then like Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, they kind of do something. That'd be cool, man. Just an idea.
I know. We got to develop that the regional rivalries. Like, the SCL is getting there. It's a bigger region, but even the smaller, more compact regions, because Tennessee as well is seriously good at Rocket League with Cumberland and King and UTK. I mean,
UTK for sure.
The Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee area. I'm a little biased, being that I know a lot of people from that area, being from that area myself. But it's a good portion. Obviously, Texas could just be its own region.
Dude,
with how many good teams there
colleges.
are. Yeah,
there's so many players here. UTA, UTD, UT, UTSA. I mean, good God, we like probably HU, good old Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, like, dude, like there are so many just massive colleges here that have tons of resources available to them, and that's the good thing about living, I guess, in a large state, is able to have a lot of money to fund it and everything. But it's also something that is just like the heart of the player. Like, they're doing it. Like, this would exist even if it wasn't funded. I love that, like, CRL is kind of a grassroots thing that did catch fire as the game grew in popularity. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I really love about esports in general. It all started as people sitting in somebody's house going, hey man, I'm better than you. No, you're not. Yes, I am. We'll get on the sticks and find out.
It's wonderful. Like, having competition been born from that. And then getting to the point where CRL is at, and hopefully CRL comes back, because the heights that it reached last summer, the key to like the world championship was elite, and we need that again. Like, I don't know how closely you follow like the colleague top 48 poll, rating the North American CRL teams, but like it's been so difficult judging teams, being able to rate them without CRL. Like, I sorely miss it.
It's one of those things, like, if we do follow the top 48, it's like, okay, well, we all know Northwood Blue is going to be number one. They've been number one forever. We know that, like, Fisher should be good. Like, they should be the number one team. Let's be real, Bepic. Fisher should absolutely be the number one team, and I will die on that hill. The 3 players that go to Fisher, there's no reason they shouldn't be number one. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, they haven't played in anything this semester, so...
That's true.
It's tough to put them at one. Like, I was looking earlier because the colleague top 48 poll came out today, and I was doing my research for that. And it's like the actual Fisher A team has not played in anything since January, and so Northwood's got some wins under their belt. They're doing all right. So I'll debate you on that. But on paper, no, I agree. Like, you get a bunch of CRL pros like Fisher's got, and you should absolutely be number one.
And then and then Akron's making a comeback. Good old Akron Zips, when they used to be the number one team. I'm glad that program is making a comeback.
Yep.
And I mean, we've got, well, I forget, is it Columbia? Is that where Cosmic Flippy and Cryptic used to be at? Was that team?
Yeah, Columbia College.
Yeah, they're doing good. St. Clair's is doing good up in Canada. I mean, I know that we're talking about NA, so it does include our neighbors up top.
Yep.
So St. Clair's is a good team. Like, there's just so many major colleges we get to see. We used to see on, what was it, CRL Tuesdays, Turtleneck Tuesdays or whatever. Is that what we used to watch? Yeah, like there's so many good teams you used to see on there, and now it's just like, I wish it still had the backing, and I wish people still had like the excitement of watching it. That's actually how I got into Pro Rocket League, was watching CRL. Yes.
That's awesome. I was the opposite. I got into Pro first, and then graduated to CRL. So I love that. I mean, CRL, it gets fans into the game. And speaking about the series we're waiting on as well, Oklahoma's still trying to get a couple players together. They're missing someone right now. So Oklahoma Wesleyan's ready. Oklahoma taking a second. So we might have a little bit of a delayed start. But to your points about CRL bringing in viewers, I mean, we're getting more notoriety, which by getting more personalities in there as well. The former-ish pros, sometimes the current pros, others. It's awesome seeing what CRL has become and the level of competition. 'Cause I remember when CRL was like a much lower level of competition compared to the RLCS,
Oh, yeah.
and it caught flack for that. But now you cannot argue that anymore.
Right, but I mean, like, we also got to think that that's when T-Bates was playing at LSU.
Yeah.
With like T-Bates, it was a T-Bates and Flame, right? Like, isn't that, were they on the same team? Was that team?
I don't
can't
remember that far back.
I don't remember that far back either, but I remember the T-Bates squad, and I'm like, you talk about it being lower competition. T-Bates is like a GC3 player. Like, that's not really that low. Like, T-Bates could absolutely, like, rank-wise, can play in this lobby and be fine. If you take, like, rank 3 or GC3. So that was the first time we've seen, like, a powerhouse squad that wasn't the normal teams that we used to see. Always on top. You just see LSU come out and just beating everybody.
Yeah.
So then everyone started obviously paying attention to the South. We start seeing the colleges in the South, the players down here who do actually stand a chance against what would be the Northeast, kind of like holding the crown. And so, and it's a lot of fun, man. Like this Monday Night Lights really just shows you everybody. And like obviously, some of these teams may be top 48. Some of these teams may not be top 48 at all, not even close maybe. But like they're still high level players. So, like, that's just what it takes to get to that level. Just shows you, like, you can be GC2, you can be GC3, you can be extremely competent in this game. But, like, these other 48 teams are that much better than you are.
It's still quality Rocket League, up and down, entertaining as well. I still can't wait for this one to get underway, but that's why we need those regional rivalries. That's why I love, like, and sneak peek, for those of you listening right now that typically watch Monday Night Lights, I've got something in the works. I'm partnering, well, me and the SCL are partnering with Great Lakes CRL. We're trying to set up a Monday Night Lights where it is just SCL versus Great Lakes CRL matches. So the North versus the South. And from what from the confirmations that I've gotten, or that the GLCRL guys have gotten from their teams, there are going to be some really, really good squads playing on that Monday Night Lights. So that's that regional rivalry that I'm looking for. Hopefully that Monday Night Lights is coming up soon, but more about that down the road. I just figured I'd drop that. Like, you make me wait. I'm gonna start spilling secrets about what's down the pipeline, because Oklahoma's got to get in here soon, or I'm gonna start telling my all my deepest, darkest secrets to Keto.
I mean, hey, look, if you get the CRL or the GL CRL guys, like, you got to get your boy Q and Zen in here.
Oh,
those
yeah.
guys have definitely been casting some GL CRL, so they know. Those guys definitely know those teams. They are familiar with those guys. And I know your boy Q does a lot of high school stuff as well. So, like, he's got players that are on the come up in the pipeline ready to, you know, get those scholarships and get moving on. And that's the thing, too. Like, these guys are getting paid, right? Like, they're about to start getting paid to, like, play Rocket League.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I work at Huntington College in Montgomery, like a D3 school, and we give out scholarships to play Rocket League, which is so
That's
cool.
crazy, man.
It's not even to the highest level as well. Like, we're building out our program, and so we've got players like in low GC and Champ that are getting scholarships to play Rocket League for the school, which is awesome. Like those kinds of opportunities, and it's all over now. It's not just at one school or one region. It is all over the place. Getting money to play video games, play esports. Like, the fact that esports have gone that far, it's awesome.
And think about that too. Is like there was nothing like this at all when I was in college. I exited college because I went to UTD. That's where I graduated from. And as I was exiting, they just got a Smash Bros team, and then that Smash Bros team literally they ended up being the #1 team in the nation.
Wow.
And I was so mad. I was like, this was like my bread and butter. Like, that was my game. I actually played competitive Smash for a very long time. So I switched from the fighting games to Rocket League.
Huh. So why'd you switch? Why'd you move away from Smash?
So that game was trending in a bit of a different direction than it started.
Yeah.
As COVID came about, the game switched back to the way it was in Smash 4, which is on the Wii U, which is a very defensive game. People didn't actually like fight. There was not a lot of like interaction. It was all who could hold shield better, who could hold shield longer, who could press the better buttons on your shield and win out of that interaction, rather than like just playing neutral. And so I was like, well, I play a lot of neutral. I play a bait and punish kind of play style. This is not my game anymore. I'm gonna play Rocket League again.
Fair enough. Hey, I mean, Rocket League's a game for everybody. It hasn't, the style has gotten more mechanical, I suppose, but like at its core,
sure.
like Rocket League is still just the same old Rocket League that it was a long time ago, which I think is cool. I think we could still use some more content initiatives within the game, some more game modes, something like that. But you know, at its core, Rocket League is still Rocket League, which, you know, I think that helps it out, because it's going to be difficult for it to die because it's such a unique game. People always talk about, oh, Rocket League's dying, but it's the player count is dipping a little bit, but like there are always gonna be people playing Rocket League and playing it at a good enough level to compete, because it's just what other game is like Rocket League out there? I haven't found one yet.
Well, FIFA.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that. Sure, it's soccer, but
I mean, yeah, it's not soccer. I got you. Yeah, there's a big difference there. But no, like FIFA is the only other game that kind of has stylized like this. I actually think that there's a lot of characteristics of the game hockey in Rocket League.
Mm-hmm.
The way it's a smaller amount of team, like the 3v3 is more akin to like the 5v5 on the ice.
Yep.
It involves demos, which is checks and like tackles and stuff like that. It's more like, I feel like this game, even though it's a soccer style game, that's what we call it, I feel like it's a little more like hockey than it is like football or soccer. And so it just, the only thing that we don't have in these games, like offsides, you have nothing like that in this. Like, you just play the game. The ball goes to the other side, ball goes to the other side. There's no timeouts in the middle of the game unless the admin literally has to pause it. There's just a ton of expression for each individual player. You can tell who these people are when they're on the pitch, when they have the ball, when they're in possession, everything. I mean, it's an expressive game. And I think that's why I switched back to it, because fighting games are extremely expressive games as a player. Like, the way you pilot your character is expressive. The way you pilot your car is expressive. So, in that sense, the similar feeling brought me back, and I realized how much I actually really like this game.
I'm so glad you brought up that hockey point, 'cause that's one of my favorite opinions of Rocket League to talk about. Like, at face value, it's soccer, but it really does play so much similarly to hockey with the rotations as well.
Exactly.
I've always said that, so I'm really glad you brought that up. Because we think similarly right there. But Oklahoma should be joining. They had some tech difficulties. They got the player, then of course they had some technical difficulties in getting someone in. I don't know the full details, but they should be joining now. So I also want to point out that Cole Frankenpuff, somewhere I saw him say, it was the player for Oklahoma Wesleyan, that he is friends with Maver and Piranha, who are players on the Oklahoma team. Maver, I know, is playing tonight. Piranha should be playing tonight, so we'll see what the lineup is for Oklahoma. But I love that, going back to the rivalry. These are guys that know each other, and I might have grown up with each other, and Oklahoma's in the lobby. So I think, Taquito, we should just, without any further ado, just kind of get into this thing.
Let's do it, man. We finally did. We got here. Wesleyan versus OU. It took only a million years, everybody, I understand. So Wesleyan definitely feeling iced right now as we go into this game, number one. But it's a rivalry. It's a friendship. It is a interstate bout here on the MNL stream. It's me, your boy Taquito, and obviously I am joined by the man, the legend, Bepic. Like you said, dude, how are we feeling about this?
Oh, I'm feeling so good. Like, I loved our podcast, but I just want to talk over Rocket League sometimes. And all right, Oklahoma Wesleyan in the game chat before the series were like, yeah, we're getting iced right now by Oklahoma. Apparently not, because Nuki just sent a perfectly placed shot underneath the crossbar for first blood.
And I mean, that's the craziest thing, right? Is like, it was free.
Yeah.
It was just a free volley from their side of the field, and it just went right on in. Oh, you guys, you had your opponent's iced. What are we doing here? You know, show us a little bit. Like, okay, look at this pass. Jordan to the corner. It's right there, slotted. Just as simple as that. It's almost like another day in the office for Wesleyan.
No kidding. That was pretty. The dot from Nuki and the placement from Jordan to get that around Piranha and Maver. That's about as perfect a passing play as you can ask for. And a second goal for Oklahoma Wesleyan. Solid start for them. I'm sure whatever icing Oklahoma was doing to them, it's going to go the other way too, because Oklahoma look very cold right now.
They absolutely are. Good save right there from Illogical. Got another one. Let's see if they can get the possession going forward. I like the fact that they waited for it, but that back pass is not what you want right there. The ball needs to be moving the opposite direction, but maybe coming in this late and dealing with all the tech difficulties that they have been, we got one excuse for game one, okay? It's best of 7 here. We got a possibility of 7 games. Let one go, right?
And that's why I do the best of 7 format, because there's show matches. People probably aren't like scrimming heavily beforehand, so teams are going to come in cold. So I want to give them a game or two to really get into it and show us what they're made of. And also, it just fits the hour-long blocks a little bit better. So it worked out both ways, helping out maybe the players a little bit, although making them a little more tired. But, you know, got to give them that little buffer game to get into things. Because Oklahoma gets blown out here, I want to see that response in game 2. I want to see how they respond to, if they do lose game 1, that loss, and here even, how they're responding right now to going down 0-2.
And that's the thing, though, is what we can say is it's only 2. 4 minutes and 33 seconds. They scored 2 goals on the side of Wesleyan. They're looking for another one here. They will not be able to find it at the moment, but it's only been these 2 goals. They have been able to kind of shut it down on the OU side for at least 1:30 now. Good bump right there, but Maver, that is your teammate. That is not the opponent. You need to bump the blue car.
Well, we'll see if he can sort that out. Maybe we're doing well to get through 2 blue cars. No bumping necessary for that 50-50 one to Levi Nuki. Oklahoma Wesleyan going to clear the zone, but Oklahoma's offense starting to come online just a little bit more. The possession game starting to tip back in their favor just a touch. It's still 75-25 in favor of Oklahoma Wesleyan thanks to the serious start that OKWU had. But Oklahoma slowly but surely getting cooking.
I'm just like, oh, that was just a calamity at the goal line. I am surprised. Like, I get it. I get right now, like, it's ice cold here on the side of OU. They probably didn't get a single chance to warm up whatsoever. Wesleyan probably got at least a game, maybe some free play in. Got the hands a little warm. The phalanges nice and stretched out, moving, blood flowing. But poor OU, man. They held it down pretty good, but yeah, that's just, it's 4 unanswered, brother. 4 straight unanswered, and we're just 21 seconds past halftime.
And to be fair, Oklahoma Wesleyan is hitting their shots. I mean, that is a beauty from Cole Frankenpuff. Tight angle, got through a pair of Oklahoma defenders. That was nicely done. And I think back to the passing play earlier. Oklahoma Wesleyan's looking good, but Maver using some mind games to nearly get Oklahoma on the board. The fake almost worked out, but there was no heat behind the ball. And so Oklahoma empty-handed again. But in an odd man situation, Oklahoma Wesleyan down a player on the goal line. Still no shot developed for the Sooners.
Well, and that's the thing is, you know, they're back here on the back wall. They get a great progression play, and I actually love the way the team moves forward. But it's almost like they lose steam right there at that final third on the side of Wesleyan. This could be a good pass. Okay, it's Maver, not Piranha. Maver off the back wall, but it's not a good enough pass out to the mid. You can see Piranha laying in that third position, waiting, trying to see where the pass is going to come from. But it's all their eggs in one basket, it almost seems, when they're moving up the pitch.
Yeah, and when Oklahoma Wesleyan striking as efficiently they are in transition, you have to be taking advantage of all possibilities in offense if you're Oklahoma, and they're still trying to get there, but Oklahoma Wesleyan again defend a nice Sooner attack and to convert on the other side. That is their 10th shot of the game, make it 11. The Logical has Piranha down the pitch, pops it back out center for Maver, and just sends this forward and is looking to see what Oklahoma can get in the waning moments of game 1. This is getting pretty close to all sewn up, though.
I almost would call it here. At least can we get one? OU, give us just one game. Wesleyan is kind of playing with their food in this moment, but that is just how it goes. That is how the cookie crumbles in this moment. They unfortunately have not been able to produce any kind of positive results at the goal line right there. Jordan, little out of sorts, trying to get the ball to the back wall. Logical will take a touch away, and it's just kind of everyone flopping around. I think OU knows it's time to move on to game number 2.
Yep, back to the benefit of the best of 7. You're only down a game. You need 4 to take the series. So Oklahoma Down in the first game, Oklahoma Wesleyan. Looking solid so far. A total of 11 shots to just 2 of Oklahoma. That was a solid game all around. And now, we look at that response, that game 2 response. Does Oklahoma kind of get folded over again, or do they start to really whip their offense into shape? That's the big question I've got for this team, and it's always game 2. I love game 2s for that reason, to see how teams respond and see how teams adjust themselves after getting punched in the mouth here like Oklahoma did.
Oh no, it's Real Albedo. We have the actual mechanical, technical issue there. It is Logical's mic. We have a player with literally 0 comms. Oh my, that's tough. Okay, that's, sheesh, never mind. It actually makes sense now.
Yeah, that's tough, and yeah, it does make sense because there were a couple of plays for Oklahoma there where they were going for a play, and it looked like they were on completely different pages, like a center ball where everybody was way too far away to receive it, and those kinds of opportunities are going to fall away for Oklahoma if they're not able to communicate them properly. So I'm not surprised now that Real Albedo has revealed what the technical difficulty was and still is. So we'll see if they can work around that, because, you know, comms are a very nice part of competitive Rocket League, but they're not everything. You can still win without them. In Oklahoma, it'd be impressive if they can, but there you go. Logical. Didn't need to calm that one. That was just a perfect pass to Pirano.
What a pinch. Are you serious? Oh my lord, that was perfect.
Wow, placed it right on the front bumper of Piranha too. It's not easy to corral like a pinch off the back wall like that, to place it perfectly for your teammate. Well done.
And that's exactly what you want to see. Like you said, you want to see the game 2 antics, really, is what we're going to call it. Oh, that's a free goal. Oh, you got to turn those in. That was wide open. Jordan gets a chance here off the back wall, looking for the flip reset as all 3 move up, and Logical just over the head says, Cole Frankenpuff, you have no more possession, my friend. It is mine.
Oh, and a demo to boot. Jordan's down. That's a nice catch by Maver. Gonna pop it out mid. Cole Frankenpuff waiting on the back wall. Never needed. Snook can just turn for that. Because Oklahoma not quite on the same page, and that is an open net that Nuke converts on. 1-1.
That was such a great placement too. Like just right underneath the crossbar. And it wasn't like a flick or anything. It was just a good touch. And it just sinks right on in. Nuki is the level above SSL. So we have got, was it 1242 or Twee? I have no idea. I'm looking very briefly there in the chat. And Jordan again. What is happening on kickoff?
Just a one kickoff and a nice cheat by Jordan. The placement, I mean, Jordan has been on point with putting those balls exactly where they have to be to get around Oklahoma's defense. It's a kickoff goal for Oklahoma Wesleyan. Right as we see Oklahoma to take a bit of a lead in game 2, Oklahoma Wesleyan respond nicely with a pair.
And that's like at least OU is back on the board this time. It is not a completely scoreless game. Number 1, Nuki with no boost is not going to be able to really affect the play too much, but a pad might do him justice. Sadly, it's just a volley back to the mid. We're going to keep it alive here in the orange, and Maver tries so hard to get one touch. The fake underneath. Oh, Piranha's there just in time though. It's awkward though here in the orange. I mean, they're really trying to, I guess, figure out what the right pace of play here is against Wesleyan. And Wesleyan is just getting their touches, like you said, in game number 1. That is really the difference maker here. They are striking with efficiency.
Oklahoma Wesleyan, it seemed like the faster of the 2 teams, and it does feel like Oklahoma is upping their pace. There are more cuts in defense. There are more attempts at cutting off Oklahoma Wesleyan players before they even aren't able to develop an offensive opportunity. But Oklahoma Wesleyan seem comfortable playing at this kind of pace. That's a little weird. Cole Frankenpuff and Nuki both going for the same ball, but it's all right. They recovered into a dump-off pass from Jordan to Nuki. The shot is on, but saved by Logical. Nice play from the Oklahoma back line, but they need to clear, and they need it soon.
And as soon as you speak, it comes to fruition there, Bepic. You got the lottery numbers, champ?
I mean, I would call that a complete clear, because Oklahoma Wesleyan had a lot of space to put it back in Oklahoma's face. They still got to work for it.
you kind of predicted some things over here, bud. You wanna slide those numbers down there in the Twitch chat? I'm just saying, we might walk away with a little more than just a fun series as Wesleyan goes up here by 3-1, just a few seconds after halftime.
Well, Piranha didn't see that coming. he tried to find the block off the back wall, but was in an awful position to do it. And so it's weird for Oklahoma's defense. Oklahoma Wesleyan finally find another after working so hard to break down Oklahoma, who held it together for a while. And off the kickoff, putting the pass and play together. No shot develops from. Nice cutoff attempt. Oklahoma's getting in the face of Oklahoma Wesleyan right now, but not enough, though. OKW's overextended. That's a freebie for Oklahoma's second goal.
There we go. We finally capitalize on a full house and logical downfield to get a touch. You decrease the deficit by half here. They were down by 2, only 1 at this point. And we now have a lot of time to play with here for OU to show us that they can easily try to come back. Great dunk off the kickoff, logical. That dunk or that doink would have actually been insane.
Going for it. Oklahoma trying the crafty plays, but the simple ones work too. Maver, a little bit too high on the shot, but it sends Oklahoma Wesleyan's defense into a pit of chaos. Nuki's trying to chase this ball down and is able to get it over that midfield line and for a second touch, finds a light one, but doesn't do anything more in terms of getting the ball over the Oklahoma goal line. Instead, the Sooners find an out, find a demo, a double commit as well, but at the very least, they've made Oklahoma Wesleyan play awkward defense again.
That was very close here. Logical doesn't get the best of touches. Piranha trying to help out, it seems, but the best decision here is probably to go back downfield. Oh my inch. What in the world? I don't even know what you were going for there, but like, had that somehow found a negative angle, that is just a this is Rocket League moment.
Yeah, it is Rocket League indeed, but Oklahoma Wesleyan still find a way to keep offense going. Jordan on an open net again, able to exploit the Oklahoma defense on a massive dunk at the midfield. At the left, Logical all alone, and Cole Frankenpuff joining Jordan there. That's perfection in transition.
The Nuki fans in your chat.
I was gonna say,
like Nuki has all of 1 goal on 4 shots, but Nuki's the best player in the chat, and that's what I love. That's what I absolutely love here.
The Nuki fan club has shown out big for this series. Oh, okay. Logical tried to take a bit of the spotlight away from Nuki though, but instead just gave it back to him. No Piranha, Duncan Nuki. Trying to set up Oklahoma for one last-ditch effort here. And these weird aerial plays are almost working out for the Sooners, but not quite.
At this point, they just threw caution into the wind, and they've decided that it doesn't really matter. Piranha with a shot, Piranha almost with a goal there, but sadly can't line up the best look. Oh, that is just going to be flung right over Logical's car? Jordan just big bodying their way, just right over, like, oh yeah, hey, that's cool that you're in the way, Logical. Great challenge and everything, but hit the gym.
Oh, look at that timing on the flip as well. Jordan was just jumping, delaying that flip to see where the ball goes after the 50-50. And once it pops up, realizes he can shoot it. That is the perfect use of a delayed flip right there. And I think the game was already kind of secured for Oklahoma Wesleyan, but that absolutely secured it with a 5th goal. OKW, you are on fire right now.
Wesleyan is definitely proving that they have not been iced, as it has melted. Actually, yep. I'm wrong. Sorry, excuse me. Jordan is cold as ice, as you can see by his tag in the game. I apologize for being wrong.
I don't know why they were complaining about that earlier when Jordan had that tag, like cold as ice. You're going to be iced the entire time, and apparently it doesn't matter. But I'm still glad you pointed that out to call out the hypocrisy of our Wesleyan boys. They're obviously not iced.
I'm saying they're just cold as ice. They're thriving in their element. Literally, they are in the middle of the tundra. They've been so cold. However, OU here, the Sooners have gotten 2 on the board in game number 2, and they started game number 2 with a little bit of fervor that we did not see in game number 1. So I'm now looking to the rest of OU here, specifically Maver. I want to see Maver get a little more involved. Piranha's been there. Logical, obviously, these crazy aerial plays they're going for. But like Maver, show us more. Get a little more ball to the pitch.
I mean, Oklahoma, if they can sort things out defensively, their offense is doing enough to win games here, but they're overextending a bit. They're going for some wild thoughts in offense, and I think it's leaving their defensive structure a little lackluster at times. And Oklahoma Wesleyan, more than talented enough to exploit those gaps, because what is that? From Jordan, I think that would have gone in regardless of whether or not Nuki's there. He just is the dunk master tonight. I think you're muted, Taquito.
Jordan hit the gym, bro.
There we go.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Jordan hit the gym. Like, Jordan is literally like bench pressing probably 500. Like, let's be real. Like, you're not stopping Jordan on any challenge currently this evening, it seems, because he's got the playbook. But again, early goal, 25 seconds in. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Let's see if OU can turn it around. They did it in game number 2. It's game number 3. Just as long as the clock hits 0, just go to the next game or let Jordan reset on your head. I don't know.
Well, Maver's boostless. Piranha's got 100, but with Logical going in and out right there, he's got to wait. And you can't wait on that. Jordan just did it to the Oklahoma defense. Wow, what a play.
That's shot. Wait, so far from what I've seen in the stream, that's definitely shot of the night.
Oh,
That was crazy. Cole, what are you doing up there? What are you literally doing up there? Maver trying to get involved, getting over 1, doesn't beat Jordan. Logical's looking for 1 as well. But like, what was Cole Frankenpuff doing on the back wall? This should be a freebie. Uh-oh, Logical with the angle.
Oh,
Can't find the shot. The ball's going the other way.
that's another one. That Oklahoma's just going for too much right there. The double from Logical doesn't pan out. The net was open. It was a tough shot, but the double tap seemingly out of Logical's wheelhouse in that moment. So Oklahoma again empty-handed. Maver alone in defense and had 2 blue cars staring him down. Oklahoma Wesleyan putting an end to any kind of momentum Oklahoma had at the end of game 2 and just dumping on them a 3-0 deficit.
I guess it's time to wake up. I don't know. Is this a fever dream? Like, what is going on here, OU? We're down. We're leaving the net wide open. Jordan, nice little reset. Look at the pass off that back wall high. I appreciate that. However, it doesn't come to fruition on any kind of team play. Good attempt there, but I guess that was Maver getting absolutely bumped off of possession. Ball still trying to find its way to the opposite side of it. Is that going to be a freebie? Okay, no. Piranha is there. Nice flick, does completely get eradicated from play. I mean, this team is just playing lights out. Like, they're firing on all cylinders in this best of 7.
Another good block. Oh, Frankenpuff, a nice read on the goal line. Oklahoma's controlling possession. They don't have anything to show for their time spent in the Oklahoma Wesleyan end just yet. Piranha beaten by Jordan right there, but Logical doing the smart thing and taking Jordan out. That allows Maver space to pass, but there's no one there. And Jordan re-enters a play with a clear over the midfield line, and that resets the offense of Oklahoma. They have to retreat thanks to some brilliant defense out of Wesleyan.
What a shot downfield, too. Nuki there, able to send it away. Jordan with a massive clear, but Piranha stops it. We're moving downfield. Maver with the pre-flip, tries to find it. Nuki is up. Logical with a chance, goes to the back wall, can't continue to play as they get bumped off. And man, it is just tit for tat. Even if they do get into the blue, there's just nothing they can do to fight this Wesleyan defense.
Right. The possession is about even in this game, and yet the scoreboard tells a different story. Oklahoma Wesleyan's been clinical so far here. Logical hopping over Cole Frankenpuff, getting back into the play. It's a center ball that Maver backs off on. Guess misreading the play. Looking to beat Nuki and Jordan though, and does. The shot's too high, but the rebound from Logical does find its way in. Maybe there is life on the Sooner side. We'll see what they can do in the final 100.
Hopefully get 2 more, right?
We'll see.
Like, hopefully make it a series, right? Because right now, OU, you are letting Wesleyan just kind of walk the dog here. And it is, like on kickoff, like why are we not cheating together? You know what I mean? Like there's so many questions I do have. Jordan taking out Piranha, Maver with an opportunity at possession, low boost opportunity as well, goes underneath, and they do it somehow. OU just pressure Wesleyan, I mean, enough, and are able to put them out of sorts to score a second goal.
I mean, the ideas have been there all night for Oklahoma. The execution's been the side that's been lacking. But right there, that's perfect from Maver. Waiting for the player to hop in front of you, be a lead blocker into that play, and then winning that 50-50 enough to force the panic out of Nuki, who has responded incredibly. Gets down the field straight away off kickoff and slams a 4th goal home for Oklahoma Wesleyan. That's how you respond to an own goal.
And I gotta tell you, like, Nuki for Prez, you know what I mean? I get it. I get the fan club here. I'm with it. Nuki can do no wrong. You saw that play? Absolutely amazing. So, and what a slot too. Like, just so much power on that infield pass. That's something that we don't really see a lot in Rocket League, but we're starting to see it more now at the higher levels. All these infield plays, mixing up the defense, very close to their own goalie bots, and that is the kind of stuff that definitely nets you positive outcomes like that one.
Hey, great transition. Oklahoma, they're not giving up. Despite the deficits, despite giving up a total of 13 goals across nearly 3 games, they are still fighting hard. And that transition game of theirs is keeping them afloat at the moment. They got 60 seconds left, which is time enough to find an equalizer, but we'll see if that execution side of their game is still on point.
Oh, what a play off the back wall. The third, Jordan having to wait a little bit. I like the idea to play that one patiently, but I feel like you just want to attack and strike while the iron's hot if you're Wesleyan. Like, you've got this team all out of sorts. You're definitely in their head. Stealing all the boost, Nuki is just taking 200, it seems, off the back wall. Oh, no, Piranha's just not there in time. Logical, a little out of position as well. Can they play this one smart? Good challenge there from Cole Frankenpup to keep the offense from hammering down on their final third. Wesleyan here trying to stop the tie game as we speak.
Okay, good improvisation there from Maver, letting the ball drop, but still getting something out of it. Piranha, oh, bad first touch, lets it go, and Jordan's all over that. Piranha's now downfield. Maver's going up for the back wall, though, and the read was missed. Oklahoma had an opportunity to tie us up right there, but they couldn't do it. So Oklahoma Wesleyan going to take a 3-0 lead in this best of 7. Close shave for Oklahoma Wesleyan, the closest so far, but they still find the win.
Man, oh man, 1-point game now.
Yep.
We are finally in that 1-point goal range. And Oklahoma is proving to us that it is very much so possible. Like, yeah, I don't know what ball you're going for. What do we Logical is supposed to be typing in the team chat.
Oh man.
Oh no.
A little exposed right there, but that, I mean, we do know that the tech difficulties are affecting Oklahoma right now. That's why Logical's typing to his team and not saying that over comms. His comms aren't working, so I can understand that. I understand the little bit of frustration because Oklahoma are playing a weird style of Rocket League, but there are a lot of cuts, there's a lot of hesitation and going for ambitious balls, but it's not always panning out. It has exploited Oklahoma Wesleyan at times, but as of right now, they're going to have to figure it all out for 4 straight games because they need to reverse sweep if they're going to win here tonight.
They absolutely do, and I think I mean, from what it is, it's kind of possible. Maver does take a good save, awkward at the goal line as well. Patience being the key there. Nuki is going to look for a double, does miss the opportunity. Puff off the back wall. Logical with a touch. Denied by Jordan. Can Maver get up? No, they can. And Nuki with a chance at the net. Cannot align themselves properly. And for what it's worth, the attack slowly stops, but it hasn't dissipated yet.
That's a nice dunk. There's no one actually back for this. Logical's got an open net to turn in, and Oklahoma, again, this has happened before, finding first blood in a game, but still, it's a nice start to have that initial goal.
Absolutely. And that's, again, we're kind of looking at this kind of akin to game number 2 in game number 2, they did start off with the first goal. They maintained the lead for, I believe, a solid 45 seconds. You know what I mean? Maver trying, and I respect it, missing their touch. Oh, shot from Logical again.
Great rebound. Maver playing weird right there, but it made Jordan play weirder. Coming off the back wall, expecting a shot. And so he gives it up to Logical, and that is a slot. Perfectly done by Logical. And now, for sure, this is the first multiple goal lead in this series for Oklahoma. Maybe the tides are turning.
It's substantial, Bepic. It is absolutely substantial here, but is it enough? I mean, you're only up by 2, and against a team like what Wesleyan has proved to us this entire series so far, it almost doesn't matter what lead you have. It's going to get snuffed.
If Oklahoma doesn't figure out defensively, I agree with that. Oklahoma Wesleyan has been doing a good job exploiting all the Sooners' mistakes. I mean, giving up 4+ goals every single game. I feel ya. It feels like OU needs more than just 2 goals if they're going to take this game. And their offense is right back to it, so perhaps that'll be the case, especially now that Nuki's missed the ball. Piranha finds a weird touch on it. And now several players go for a ball that has stayed neutrally in the midfield. It's awkward right now on Forbidden Temple, and that is a freebie if Oklahoma can commit, but they bide their time, and I don't blame them. You don't want to commit too much on a play like that where the ball feels like it could bounce any which way after it's all said and done.
Absolutely, and you had how many people up for it? At least 2. And opposite players on each team were vying for that possession, and it's kind of that question of like, do I go here, or maybe as Logical say, yeah, I don't know what ball you were going for there.
Yeah, that it can bleed through, the not knowing what your teammate's doing.
Do you think, like, and this is just a big time comp thing, do you think it has hindered this OU team? Because we got Albedo saying that this series would be so much closer if Logical had the comms.
Oh, I mean, knowing what this Oklahoma team can do, yes, I think it definitely has hindered them. Now, will they be winning the series? I'm not sure. But we'll set our sights on what on earth just transpired on the pitch, because Maver's got himself a freebie, and Jordan playing weird again because of a touch that doesn't come through from Oklahoma.
The pre-flip, right? Like the pre-flip we thought was actually going to hit, and I respect Jordan for the backflip there. But this is an awkward scoreboard. I'm not used to seeing 3 O's on the side of orange so far. Piranha by their lonesome here, trying to defend just over to Cole. Good touch, even better follow through. Well, at least for the side of OU, as Wesleyan sends that ball back to the mid for at least a little bit of brevity for this time being. And is that another goal? Nah, Jordan gets back. Okay, I was about to say, I was like, not another freebie.
Okay, it's another miss. Maver not there. Logical's got space and a flip, but a Cole Frankenpop right in his face. That flick fails. And Nuki upfield hunting for more demos, but instead saves Jordan's shot. Oklahoma Wesleyan has caught the awkward bug because they cannot stop getting each other's way.
That was tough. That's I think Nuki's trolling. Okay, what a clean pass. What a clean play. Jordan up to Nuki. Jordan just goes ahead and pre-jumps it. Nice strong touch to that top corner. That's how you put a point back on the board.
All right, well, you've heard of the 24-hour bug. That's the 24-millisecond bug. It didn't last long. Nuki not fazed by saving his teammate's shot, and that was another one of the probably best goals we'll see all of Monday Night Lights. Absolutely beautiful pre-jump.
That was insane. I've got to be completely honest with you. That was such a good way to kind of gain your momentum back, at least, too. However, we've got to just look at the facts here. We may be looking at some different facts if OU doesn't get that ball away from their goal line. But I was gonna say, it's just looking here, OU has definitely stepped up to the plate to play this team, and they look really strong here in this game number 4.
Yeah, they have figured out ways to force the defense of Oklahoma Wesleyan to get awkward on that goal line, make mistakes on the goal line, and they've been there to clean up. But Oklahoma Wesleyan still a dangerous offense, even down 2 goals in the final 30 seconds. So the Sooners need to be cautious here, especially with the double commits, especially with the light touches. Going to have to make sure they close this thing out.
They've only got 17 seconds left. Unless something absolutely insane happens here, they should be perfectly fine to get at least one win on the scoreboard. Make it another goal for the road, but not if every player in the lobby is jumping like a bunch of jumping beans for that shot.
All right, it's spikes. That strange game 4. Maybe we'll come to close the awkwardness of this series so far, because that was weird, like all kinds of weird. Jordan had 6 shots, was the only shooter for Oklahoma Wesleyan. Cole Frankenpuff had 90 points. Oklahoma had so many like whiffs, which may be fakes, I'm not entirely sure, that turned into goals that game. Like I don't know how sustainable that style of Rocket League is, but it worked right there, and it was kind of fun to watch.
You know, I mean, it is what it is. And, of course, the Nuki fans are saying, you know, good job giving one over to OU. They needed that. Need a little pat on the back. At this point, I think what has actually happened is we've gone the old cup attached to the string method for Logical. And Logical's got it, you know, like posted up right here, getting the comms as the, you know, they're transferred to the team. So maybe that's what's going on. Maybe Logical has gone a little old school with it, little manual comms right there. Who knows? But OU has put one on the board. Can they put another? Do we see the reverse sweep slowly start to happen here in game number 5?
I mean, if they can keep making Oklahoma Wesleyan play bad defense, then maybe we'll see. But also, can on a string, cup on a string, Taquito? Why not just like a cell phone? Like I know you're older, but
Listen, dude. We're going classic here, all right? We're going classic all the way. It's hard line, dude. Hard, like landline. It's the OG landline. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares about a cell phone? You know what I mean?
I get you. We'll see if it works. Hey, if that's what they're doing, whatever it takes to win, right here, Jordan. Has been a star throughout this series for Oklahoma Wesleyan, almost getting us started. Instead, it's Logical taking a shot to answer back. No goals in the first 30 seconds so far. Oklahoma, they could use that first blood, but it's Oklahoma Wesleyan really looking the stronger of the two so far.
Absolutely, and that's one thing that we do notice here, Bepic, is Wesleyan always looks like the powerhouse squad when the game starts. Even though OU, oh my.
Whoa!
Another, hang on. Oh, Maver just jumped in a little too early. It was another amazing pinch pass that could have turned into a goal. Sadly, does not go by the way of OU. They are back in their defensive third. Can they get out of it? It's very awkward here. 2 people stuck right next to one another. But with the fortunate touch, the ball does see the blue pass.
And we're still playing awkward. We're still playing weird Rocket League. The backwards accidental touches, the misses in offense, Maver controlling the ball, trying to get it to Logical. That's not awkward though, it's just a nice play. Nuki, a light touch, has to give that one up. Cole Frankenpuff reads his teammate well. That falls off the back wall. It stays on the goal line, and Piranha's had enough of the weird Rocket League and no goals. Says, I'll take that one, thank you very much. Nice setup, Maver. That's 1-0 Oklahoma.
That's got to be Piranha's first goal in like at least 2 games, right?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I feel you. I'm sitting here thinking, like, Piranha has been involved, but we haven't seen Piranha actually score on the opposite side. So it's nice to see all 3 players getting a chance to kind of put those goals next to their name. You got Piranha in the back line waiting for that one off the back wall. Maver will have to be the sole player that moves this down the pitch. That smoke screen was good. Piranha with the possible finish here. And, yeah, to what you said, just some really weird Rocket League.
Yeah, Piranha kind of just drove around the ball a little bit too much. Couldn't collect it. And yet, Oklahoma still given an opportunity now. Logical looking for the dunk. Cole Frankenpuff too good on the goal line. The Piranha's third man again stepping up. Making a good read on the play. Realizing the space that he has. That allows Oklahoma a secondary opportunity. And now it's Oklahoma Wesleyan's turn to get a chance on the board. Jordan finds a shot, and now we'll see if that's the only offense they get to play for now.
Only offense is important here. I mean, at least it's something. They are up by 1. Can Wesleyan kind of fight back here? And these whiffs, that's a high ball off the back wall. Can we get a follow through? Logical, no boost, no strong touch. Oh, looking for one there. Can't find the double. And it just seems slow. It seems like both the teams have just kind of slowed their pace of play down to match the other, and only gotten weirder since then. Maver putting in the second goal for OU.
Oh, nice touch by Maver. That second little tap on the ball, and it's a slow play. It realizes the space that he's got, and Oklahoma has adjusted in that regard. Oklahoma Wesleyan was playing super fast the last couple of games, and I'm thinking perhaps that's because Oklahoma will just give them the ball from the midfield line. Take too strong a first touch because they think Oklahoma Wesleyan's going to be in their face. But now, OKW's hanging back, and Oklahoma's taking advantage of that. It's worked out. 2-0, and Logical will send that ball away. Oklahoma Wesleyan now the team with some questions to answer. Can they score? And yes, that question will be answered pretty quickly.
Good shot there from Goal Franken Puff. That was, I mean, just the way to be. You're in the right position. Goal is open. Maver is the only player back. You're the sole defender. You got 2 to beat. That's tough. Maver's awkward. OU does let one through there. It's 2-1 here in game number 5, but still OU pushing their way through to this possible reverse sweep, and they seem to at least hold the momentum for right now.
Ooh, Maver's gonna have a little boost though. It's awkward in defense, just has to bang that away. Jordan's ready for it. No one up the sidewall to read it. He doesn't get a second touch though. Go Franken Puff playing that alternative. Doesn't matter though. Oklahoma defend it. I like the ideas from Oklahoma Wesleyan, but it's not quite there. Can they flip the field? Still needing that one equalizer. Still need to find at least one more gap in the Oklahoma defense to find us in overtime. So Oklahoma have done well. Going down 0-3 in a best of 7. It's not easy to keep your composure, but the Sooners certainly have.
That is the one thing that I believe has remained consistent, Bepic, is their composure. They have truly stood tall to the task. That's going to be tough if Jordan does.
What? What a touch!
Brother.
Oh my!
Brother, let's watch this back.
You can't blame Maver for that.
How? I just want to know how that happened. I can't blame Maver for it at all, but like, what? Are you kidding me? Yeah, this is Rocket League, bro. This is Rocket League.
That's Jordan for you. Going for everything and anything mechanical. And it works out right there. Oklahoma's extending up, trying to demo Jordan. They find him. That's the wrong man. Nuki's the one on the goal line. Is dunked by Logical. Cole Frankenpuff next up with 60 boost. Gets it clear. One to beat for Cole. Can he get it around Piranha? Yes, but the shot is too short of being on target. And that's because it was a pass. Jordan's there for the cleanup. And it's looking like Wesleyan's back in order.
I just want to know why, Maver, why did you drive straight into the goal? Why did we just turn around? Oh no! OU giving up that lead they so desperately held on to here as we follow through the last 20 seconds of this game. Piranha with one more opportunity. It's up to Maver, upfield. Logical gets demoed by Jordan. Oh no! That's not what you need to happen! Calamity in the midfield, and Jordan most likely just put the dagger in the series.
Oh, Piranha backflips. Knew he had to just put a shot on without much boost, and Jordan was already upfield from that demo. Beautiful awareness, as always, from the Oklahoma Wesleyan representative. That should be the dagger. This kickoff should certainly seal it. Great series from Oklahoma Wesleyan, and Oklahoma, kudos to them for adjusting despite the tech difficulties, despite the delay. They played well the last couple of games, but it was not enough to get through Oklahoma Wesleyan.
Not at all, man. Not at all. The final game could have one more point in store for us if they get it off kickoff. But for now, it is a 5-2 ender in this best of 7. 4-1 over to Wesleyan, who just remained so ice cold through the entire series.
And 13 shots in the last game. Yeah, ice cold is right. Even when it got strange, even when they went down by multiple goals early on again in a game, they recover. And Jordan played lights out. I mean, it was a full team effort from Oklahoma Wesleyan, but Jordan, some of the plays that he was pulling out to Keto are unbelievable.
That pre-flip. That pre-flip was ridiculous, man. How did you know to nail that? That's all I want to know. How did you know that you were literally going to like just nail the most awkward defensive approach against OU? What in the heck?
I don't know. Oklahoma Wesleyan see some things that I could only dream of, but they get the W here. 4-1 is the final and our only best of 7 of the night. And that's because we have official Southeastern Esports League last chance qualifier matches coming up. UNCC versus UAH White, ECU versus Florida, and it's ECU versus UF coming up next, and a best of 5 to see who makes it to playoffs. We'll be right back in about 5 minutes time because we got a banger of a series we got to get prepared for. I need some more water. We got to catch a breath after that last heater of a series, so we'll be right back. welcome back, everybody, to Florida versus ECU. Despite what my caster screen says, I forgot to change that part, but I can assure you that this is Florida versus ECU play on an SCL last chance qualifier best of 5 to see who goes to playoffs and who is eliminated. I still got Mr. Feisty Taquito with me, and Taquito, this is a pretty big matchup we're about to cast.
This is huge, especially it being only a best of 5 for like an LCQ, and you have a possibility of 5 games. I mean, dude, that puts the pressure on literally from the start of game number 1. You have got to close the series out. And like you said, it's win or it's go home. Now, that's even more fire underneath these teams. And I gotta ask, who has the edge here? Who's got the advantage? Who do we think is going to be the scarier team to play against?
So I talked about this one earlier on my State of the SEL show, and I definitely see Florida as the favorites here. I am a big fan of this Florida team. I love watching their offense work. They're very creative, very dynamic in offense. Their defense is a little lackluster, and I predicted them to be a top 8 team in the SEL after this semester, but they faltered a little bit. They weren't able to beat the top 2 teams in their group in King University and Kentucky, and then they got 3-0'd by Arkansas in the last chance qualifier, and that was almost 2 weeks ago that happened, so plenty of time for them to recover. But Arkansas is a good team, but not one you should be getting 3-0'd by if you're trying to make a top 8 run. So Florida, I think, are the favorites here, but ECU upset Louisiana Tech in their last chance qualifier previous match, so they are looking all right now. So I think they're underdogs here, Taquito, but I think they're trending upward, this ECU team.
And that's what I like to hear. So we have a little bit of a dark horse, if you will, in this ECU team. They're on the come up. They are ready to kind of take down what could be a stronger opponent than what they're normally used to seeing. I mean, you're kind of getting into playoffs. You're going to see everybody who's going to be harder than any team you have played all season long, but you've got to prove it here. You've got to prove it now. It's game number 1 of this LCQ. Let's get into it, Bepic.
All right, let's get into it. A massive series for playoff implications. There are only 2 series left to be played in the SEL last chance qualifier stage. It's this one, and it's UNCC versus UAH White to follow. And it's Florida striking first. The Gators chomp early, and it's True Raid with the first goal.
And that is just literally how the cookie crumbles. Nice, wide open berth to shoot at in the backfield. Unfortunately, ECU not in the best of positions to defend it. Florida, with that early bite out of their opponent, do take the first goal, but let's see how long they hold on to it, as basically they get scored on, and we're tied up literally in 16 seconds.
Oh, Kyan, that is not a good miss right there. Looking for the double out to safety. Didn't have any kind of safety net, really. If there's a player there to punish that miss, and there absolutely was. Great read by basically, and ECU responds exactly what you needed.
That's what you want. Larry here with the pass down to Kyan. Oh my. And okay, did we want defense in our series here, or do we just want to get right to it?
I mean, I wouldn't mind an offense-heavy matchup. I think that might favor Florida. So if it's a back and forth, I think ECU needs to play some defense. But, I mean, already 3 goals. I'll take that.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Up by 1 here, and Florida looking pretty good. That's not the best touch. Chief. Yeah, that was a great bump. I feel like Chief should have let the ball go over a little bit of control to another teammate, but they get it down the field. Nice little clear. Good demo on the defensive rotation. Just leaves Larry by themselves, and they cannot complete the play. Basically, up here to the corner looking for a challenge. Won't find it out, and I mean, it's still ECU hunting down this offensive opportunity, but with 1 player down on the blue, this could be dangerous, but they're able to stave it off for just a bit.
Ooh, Grid gets caught out. Kyan does the same, basically. Just bodied the entirety of Florida. Gets through True Raid here, and then just outmaneuvers the entirety of the FL roster on the ground. That's an impressive transition.
I know you can see my face, right, big dog? Like, what was that? How did you get sauced? Bro, call basically Gordon Ramsay the way they just chefed up the enemy team. My God.
And I was looking for more. Basically, almost got a hat trick. Still trying to cut up Florida, but now this is the part you got to be scared of if you're ECU. It's the transition of the Gators. Their offense is lethal, just as lethal as we've seen from ECU. That's why we're tied 2-2 right now. So ECU fend that one off, but they do it again. Good flick. Back wall open. Basically, he's misread it. Larry, though, skies the open net, and Anixis is back in time for the save.
That one is tough. You can't sky the open net right there. You've got to literally nail the open shots while you have the opportunity. Basically here with the pad, can they do something? No. Low boost doesn't allow them to affect the play anymore. The ball needs to leave the corner though. I feel like ECU needs to have a different approach. We've got to attack this right hand, left hand corner so much. No way that goes in.
It went in. I don't know how Chief got that in, but it went in. Florida's defense has looked so rocky. True Ray doesn't have the boost to go up, doesn't have the teammate to have his back. And ECU, they take their first lead.
That is just a defensive miscue if I have ever seen one there from Florida. That was tough to watch. Kyan with a good possession here. True Raid with a shot. That's just pretty right on target, but Chief able to get it away for at least the time being, dodging the bump as well on the defensive transition. Kyan back wall. True Raid can't follow. No, basically gets the clear downfield, and it's ECU playing with tons of pressure. It's almost like they're playing with house money in this casino.
A little bit. I mean, if I'm ECU, I treat this as kind of a low-pressure series. Like, we're not expected to beat Florida, but here we are with a chance to go to playoffs. Again, I mean, they made a top 9th through 12th place finish in playoffs in the fall, and Florida bowed out around earlier, but ECU, they did have to make a roster change after Chillin graduated, and Nixis making a return to the A team, and after a down group stage, ECU have found lightning in the last chance qualifier. What a shot for the Hattie from Basically.
And Larry, you look at Larry. Larry was getting absolutely bullied. There's nothing that player could have done in the goal right there. They were going to get pumped out of the way the moment they left the ground. ECU, again, like I said, playing with house money here. They are on fire in this game number one.
Well, beaten there, though. Anixis went for it. Now empty-handed. Sorry, low-staffed. What's the term for it? Empty-staffed? Understaffed. There we go. I got it eventually. Was ECU's defense, and by the time it took me to figure out what I was trying to say, they'd already transitioned the ball back the other way. Anixis is trying to take a shot in the face of the Gators. ECU still looking on point tonight.
That was hilarious. Understaffed, not fair.
My brain was going to work there.
I can tell, man, you were working out the problems. It was wonderful. 1 minute 12 here on the clock, up by 2. ECU holding on to every bit of the momentum here. Not so much the pressure, as they still can't seem to get the ball to move further than midfield. But, I mean, they're doing what they can. There's nothing really threatening coming their way from Florida. Like, I don't feel as if Florida has brought their A game currently. I kind of feel like they're feeling the heat.
No, I mean, I'm astounded they can't even break out of defense, really. And when they do, it's just a quick beat by ECU. That one does flip a little bit as the midfield line is won by Florida for a moment. No, ECU extending a little bit, hunting for a 5th goal, making sure they've got players on the back line. Not to give any freebies away to Florida. And at the moment, I mean, ECU looked just the cleaner of the two teams. The Gators have been making a lot of mistakes, defensively especially, and now their offense really can't get going.
I'm pretty sure what we're seeing here is just not respecting your opponent enough. That's what I'm going to chalk it up to here for Florida. They didn't put enough respect here on ECU, and ECU was just like, yeah, that's okay, that's fine. We'll take the first game. We'll take our first lead. And we will put down what we believe to be the tone and pace of the series here in this best of 5 LCQ.
I mean, they certainly set the tone there, which I'm surprised by. Being able to come out and control the pace against Florida, who, when I've watched them in the past, have been an incredibly fast roster. ECU just came out here and looked the faster of the two teams, especially after the game got settled in. Like, the first minute or so was a little chaotic. Florida, I think, looked faster. They were winning more challenges, getting more open nets, but ECU returned fire with some fast as lightning movement around the pitch. And when you think back to that ground play from basically that just tore up Florida, like, it's not just fast, but it's precise.
Exactly. The just control around all 3 players. I think that's really what did it in. Basically putting down a hat trick in game number 1.
Yeah.
Literally just carrying the offense of ECU. That doesn't mean that everybody else didn't get involved, but almost they clearly got over half. There's 9 shots on the side of ECU, 4 to the side of Florida. I mean, 2 players combined got the same amount of shots from ECU, with basically holding 5, the majority of the lobby. That's who we're looking to right now. We're looking at basically for ECU to kind of carry on this tempo here, but Florida has got to be cooking up. They've got to be waking up here. Like you said, you love game 2s. And that's where we are, Bepic.
This is my favorite part. I really love game 2s. Like, outside of game 5s and game 7s, like the obvious best game in a series where it's all down to 1 game of Rocket League, game 2 is absolutely my favorite. To see the responses, to see how they adjust. And Florida's got to adjust to the backline presence of ECU. I was able to receive clears from the Gators and then just immediately toss it back the other way. And they did concede 2 early goals, ECU did, but that back line solidified. They weren't fazed at all by what Florida was doing. The quick hits, the extra little touches that Florida was able to get on the ball to throw off the defense, that no longer fazed ECU in the back half of that game. So we'll see if that continues or if Florida can find a response in game 2.
I mean, right now, it's not looking like they needed to worry about a response as a player gets deleted off the pitch. And Larry has the freest gimme goal of the series thus far.
I mean, when you have, like, a great kickoff win, a demo up in front of you, no ECU cars in the area, like, you better be scoring that, Larry. And he did. Florida is going to convert on opportunities like that, but well done. Off the kickoff, up front with the demo. That's how you respond right there. Great start.
I mean, maybe Larry is actually the crucial player here. SSL ranked clearly, hit the open net, so we know Larry has the highest level in the game so far. Even with True Raid rocking that 2022 CRL contender, obviously Larry is the hidden demon here.
Yeah, I mean, with a name like Larry, you got to be real good. But here, he gets back in time, putting his car on the line. Gets demoed, but finds a clear out to Kyan with a flip reset and a pass. Florida might find something, but that shot was a little bit off on the open net.
Ooh, good touch there. Kyan trying to mix up the offense. Oh, but it's on, was it Onyxus? Onyxus?
Onyxus.
Is that what it is? Onyxus. Okay, got it. I'm trying so hard. I didn't want to screw that up. Onyxus. Trying to get that midfield pass right there. Unfortunately, could not get the play to go their way, basically having to play this off the back wall. But there's nobody home. Wide open net right there. Unfortunately, Florida couldn't turn it in, but, like, the defense all out of sorts here for ECU at this moment.
And that's what happened in game 1 a couple of times. Florida tends to do that to defenses, but for the most part, despite the out-of-sortsness, they've recovered. And double commit here, I'm interested to see how they recover from, as Fury has a boost grab and a little bit of space. Kyan next up plays the ball off the ceiling, but Chief outpaces Larry right there, finds a clear, and that's how ECU recovers.
And that's exactly what you want to do. You want to be able to get a quick recovery, especially off of an offense that is very high in octane. They're very, very quick. They will strike fast. And I would say efficiently right now, the efficiency is lacking on both sides of the pitch here in game number 2. But Florida does have at least the advantage for the time being. I wouldn't say they hold the pressure. Larry back there dodging basically. I don't know if you caught all that, but Larry had to drive around in a circle to avoid getting bumped at the back line.
Basically feeling it right now. I mean, that touch out center almost finds a goal, still might, as Larry's under the gun, but gets the ball out before basically can collapse on it. Basically is just matching the pace of Florida and more at the moment, creating so many opportunities to gain space for ECU. And here up, good touch out to the corner and trying to follow it up. Forces Larry to pop the ball up, and that invites Chief into the play. ECU playing solid, but they do end up exposing themselves on the goal line, and Kyan punishes 2-0 Florida.
I think Chief and basically in that corner right there is absolutely what was the hindrance of ECU in that play. Too many players there in the corner trying to block the same ball. They were 2v1ing a player and just could not come out on top. Florida up by 2 here. A little less than halftime. Kaya needs to get up off the back wall. Great play, but it's on Nixis, who is going to finish it off, send it home, put them up on the board with 1. ECU is alive.
Kaya just overstepped half a step too far into the ECU end and couldn't get back for that. Found the first touch, but you need a second if you are the lone man with your other 2 teammates committing that much to an offensive play that doesn't work out. And so, ECU given 1. They counter the Florida aggression, and now off kickoff, past center, basically top shelf, no good, and Kyan's double demo should clear some room for a clear.
Oh, Kyan with another, can't get that second touch. Larry gets bumped out of the play. That was a chance for Florida to strike. Oh, and that is awkward, basically down into the corner here. Larry has to, or excuse me, Kyan has to jump on it. Larry's still looking for boost, trying to play second man. Can they find something? No. Great save there from Chief. True Raid. I like that shadow. Keeping that ball in the blue for just a little bit. It was trying to give their teammates just a little more time. Sadly, it doesn't come to fruition, but they don't get scored on in this moment. Double commit could be threatening. True Raid is obviously just bigger, but they're still in a threatening position.
Oh, it's another pass, and that one's gonna be slotted. ECU going back to their bread and butter. Onyxis controls it, finds space, finds time, and makes Florida's defense think, but they don't think about the passing option. Beautifully executed by Onyxis and Chief, and that's a tie ball game.
And that's what happens, man. They had the pressure. They had it built up. Could not capitalize on offense. Sadly, that extra touch they desperately needed did not go their way. Florida given up too early on. I like Kyan looking for a teammate in the mid, but nobody there challenging the play. This is not looking good for Florida right now. They do seem a bit frazzled.
True Raids, a flick over Chief, and the double demo by Onyxis on the Florida back line gives basically space. No, Kyan clears out to the corner. Onyxis to meet. Beats 1. Tries the 50 True Raid. It does more than just 50. That's 100-0. Big dunk across the Florida goal line. ECU have all of the presence in their offensive end, but Florida takes some of that presence away. Chief there to meet the clear, forcing a whiff out of Larry. Kyan to the backboard. Onyxis there to clear.
Great touch there from Onyxis as well. It was definitely what you needed to have dissipating that offensive push. 17 seconds here, counting down. We may see OT, but right now, Florida is in possession. They're testing this ECU defense, and they're still withstanding the onslaught for just the time being. That was really awkward, basically gets it away. Can they ground it? Do we have OT in this series?
Not quite yet. Onyxis is low on boost, but has enough in the tank to make a touch to dirt. Overtime in game 2. ECU's trying to cap off a 2-goal comeback with a win. Basically, he's the guy to do it. Can't go underneath Larry, though. Kyan turns, looking for the win. He might have it, if not for the crossbar. And True Raid might have it, if not for Chief. No. But the third man in Larry's got it. Florida wins.
Oh, that was awkward. What do you do in that moment? Onyxis jumped. And I get it, right? You have no idea if the ball is going to make it past Chief. You're just jumping to get some kind of touch in that moment to get the ball away from the goal. But with Florida, just the pure onslaught you talked about before this series started, they put it on display. Take game number 2 in a very quick overtime, very short. So, and it's still just a testament. 1-point game here. 1-point games on the evening.
It's been close. It's been so close, and I have to say, like, I did not expect this kind of speed out of East Carolina. They have looked so quick on the pitch, and basically leading that charge has looked clean. Didn't find any goals or assists in that last game, but has done so much to make Florida play awkwardly, who on the flip side of that coin, credit to Florida for getting around the awkward defense cutting up offense that ECU's playing. If Florida somehow winning that game is an impressive demonstration of resilience despite ECU's comeback.
It was definitely a demonstration of resilience. That was very awkward going into the end of that game. They were able to, at least nail home the shot. This could be a one from Chief, basically trying to cut through the defense yet again. Will not get the touch they're looking for. Larry off the back wall, clear upfield. True Raid is gonna get interrupted there by Onyxus, and it's just again, they cannot seem to hold on to possession long enough. Cayenne looking for a chance here to try to make something threatening happen, but sadly, every attempt is thwarted by all 6 players on the pitch.
Rotations were deep there for Florida. They had to refuel. And with that, they stopped the first attack from ECU, but here comes the second. Chief. His pop ball is way shut down by True Raid right there. It's a good clear. Now a waterfall down into Onyx's hands. But he gets it out, and ECU holding it together, despite a nice transition by Florida there.
And that's what we like to see. Both teams, I mean, they're playing up to one another, in my opinion. They've stopped the, like, we're going to slow play this, we're going to slow play that. They are genuinely trying to poke holes in the defense, and we can actively see it as it happens. True Raid crashing front post there against Larry. Unfortunately able to react, because it probably, to block that shot, would have hit True Raid. And it's 1 over to ECU.
Wow, I mean, the call to cut there is ambitious, especially with Larry in position. And I mean, Larry knows it. Not going for that. The quick chat demonstrating those thoughts, I feel, and it's more awkward defense caused by ECU. Florida has got to figure out how to stop that on the back line. The series is tied, yes, but ECU feels like are exploiting Florida's defense more often than UF doing it to them.
That's a good take. I like that. They're exploiting the offense, and no team we've seen has actually exploited anyone's defense. They really just have beaten their players respectively. Like, there's no real, I guess, mix them up we've seen, minus basically, shuck and jive on that 3-member play he had.
Oh, there's another shuck and jive. I love that term. Got around 2, and if that shot's on, it's very nearly a goal for ECU. Florida, I don't know if they would have gotten back, but either way, they've been scrambled again by basically on the ball, and now Onyxus forcing them backwards, basically off the back wall, and Chief not sober. No. I don't know how. He beat the Florida defense right there, but Onyxus and basically set it up. Chief knocked it down.
Oh, just barely. True Raid not there in time for the touch, and that is tough. Very, very tough. We've got basically and Chief on the board here for ECU. Still rocking the goose egg over there on Florida, and the Gators, they need to bring that ferocity back that they had in game number 2. I'm just not feeling it from what's supposed to be an apex predator.
No, I mean, they have been stuck in defense, just kind of held down by ECU. They can't break out of defense very easily and stay in offense. That midfield presence is just not there. And True Raid finally is there, but just gives the ball straight away to Onyxus, who finds basically down the field, forces 2 to go for Florida, and it's just the recipe for ECU's offense over and over again. Just collect an awkward touch from Florida, find a teammate, and then that teammate goes to work in offense. Though Florida still given a chance, True Raid skies it, and ECU should get out here.
Barely, they are barely getting out. True Raid using every bit of boost here. Nice touch off the ceiling. Onyxus is up, does get that one basically just as a free net. Never mind. And yeah, that one's little BM, you know what I'm saying? Little BM on that one for the defensive miscue, or offensive miscue of Florida, and you got to hold it.
Wow, that's a mistake from Florida in a game where they didn't have to stretch just yet. They were only down by 2 goals, and there is plenty of time left, but a 3-goal deficit heading into the final 100 seconds. That is a little bit of a bigger pill to swallow. Their offense needs to act now, but ECU, they are just not interested in giving Florida any kind of looks in offense.
I would not give Florida anything at the moment.
No.
I would continue hammering it on Onyxus with the fake, almost gets True Raid, but True Raid obviously a little more prepared for that than some might be. Cayenne with the shot. It's going to be high off the back wall. Looking for that double. Absolutely bullied into the play. Larry picking up the boost. I like that, but True Raid is awkward, and this Florida defense does not look like the same team that we saw in game number 2 at all, Epic.
No, I mean, their defense for about 2 minutes looked solid when they were able to hold ECU in check, but I mean, True Raid's just missed right there. Larry has gone flying past the balls, and Nixus pops it around him. Florida need this right here, but True Raid can't get there in time. And ECU to clear. That's a great pass to Chief, and the shot is just in. If that doesn't wrap up this series, or if that doesn't sum up this series perfectly, I don't know what will.
Over the back, over the shoulder of Chief. Chief just like, yeah, bud, hand it up. I got you. Nails the shot. Far bottom corner. Okay, ECU is playing lights out right now.
They are. I don't know how. I don't know how they've gotten hot at the right time, but hey, it's the perfect time to start feeling it. The last chance qualifier into the playoffs, and once this game is confirmed, they will be 1 game win away from making it to the postseason after only beating the 2 teams that finished below them in the group stage. And Larry's DC'd. I know he's having internet issues tonight, which I imagine plays into the fact that they're down 2-1 in this series, but regardless, EC's been making plays.
I love basically there.
Wow.
I mean, you just go for it. You know what I mean? You just do it. What are you going to do? How are you going to stop it? You're down 2-3. Like, it's just one of those things of like, like, what are they going to do? Block it? 2 seconds left in the game. Let's just pad some stats. Looks good on paper. Is what it is. We'll take a time after this game to let Larry try to get back in here, and hopefully we can get Larry back in here. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But looking like Larry. Oh no.
Oh, poor
incredible
Larry.
series for True Raid. Oh no.
I mean, that's tough to have happen. I don't know exactly. I haven't been watching the ping, but after game 2, someone in chat said 500 ping warrior. And so I imagine it's been bad for Larry tonight, which, you know, that doesn't give Florida all the excuses for losing 2 games against ECU, but that definitely does hurt you.
It does. It absolutely does. They're asking for a sub. They're trying to see what Florida's got cooking up. Hopefully, he's going on hotspot coming back. Okay, Larry is an absolute warrior. For real. 500 ping warrior coming back into the game, hopping on the hotspot. All right, so basically Larry's going to cook is what I'm hearing.
I mean, hotspot, like in a match for playoffs or elimination is on the line. That's... If Florida somehow win this with Larry playing on a hotspot, that's hotspot Larry is going to be a legend of years to come in the SEL. So we'll see what he's got cooking, Tequila. That's that's going to be crazy.
Hey, look, I'm just saying, watch. Larry comes out on hotspot, double flip, reset, musty off the back wall, double tap.
All right. The gauntlet's been laid down by Taquito. Come on, Larry. You're probably not listening right now because you know the bandwidth you can get, but there you go. Musty. What did you say? Musty double tap off the sidewall.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. That's what we got. That's what we got from Larry, and that's a way to make a statement, which Florida needs right now. I mean, ECU showed they can come back from multiple goal deficits, but Florida, a multi-goal buffer would feel so nice just to have in their back pocket in a game like this where pressure is going to be high.
Yeah. Chipmunk, the last game was 5-0. The game before that was a 1-point overtime game. It was 3. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that. Laju, is that the name? Laju. 4-2, 3-2, 5-0. That is perfect. Awesome. Look at the statistician in the chat.
Oh yeah. I appreciate it. The Twitch chat in my channel, usually very smart. Like, you know, the stereotype, Twitch chat, not so smart. But I appreciate everybody that comes and watches these series. And I appreciate Chipmunk Man as well, legendary Liquipedia editor. Thanks for getting that SCL Liquipedia page. That's why he was asking to update the page. So I'm glad we got those exact results for you.
Man, let's go. Chipmunk man doing a lot of heavy lifting here for the Liquipedia, of course.
Oh yeah. Which, if you want to check it out, I'll go ahead and post that. I've been using that to peep the results throughout the series, and I'll post the link in the Twitch chat once my computer decides to send it. There we go. That's the Wikipedia page. It's got everything from this season, which is actually awesome. Like, he went back and retroactively updated the fall split in there for us, because it all connects for LAN, you know, and so yeah, had to have it in there. But I mean, right back to this series with Larry getting the hotspot set up. Like, ECU made a 9th through 12th place run to playoffs. They've got points on the board. Florida went 0-2 in playoffs thanks to some unfortunate matchups in round 1 of the postseason. But ECU, they have a shot at LAN. If they can make like a top 6 run in playoffs, there is a legitimate possibility that this team makes it to LAN. They just got to ice up at the right time.
Yeah, I want to check on Larry here, see if he's kind of alive. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that is a top 6 run from ECU. He's getting glitched by the game right now, not letting him open friends list, apparently. He's restarting again. Oh, man. Okay, look, he got to run the gauntlet of the shot. Now he's got to run the gauntlet of Rocket League literally opening him and allowing him to play the game.
That's the hardest part. Rocket League is not interested in letting us play the game sometimes. But yeah, little Stan, Florida still can't make the LAN. They're going to have to win 2 straight clutch games to do it, though. It is possible. Like, if you've got points in at all, it is very much possible to make the LAN with probably a top 4 run for Florida. So it's about getting hot at the right time, like finding that flow state for the next several weeks of playoffs.
Do you think that ECU is going to find the flow state that you're talking about? Do you think that they've got this chance, this ability to lock in and kind of keep pushing? Because if ECU does close this series out, they still are moving through the bracket as an underdog, correct? Like, this doesn't make them any better than they already were standing in the result. You know what I mean? Like the seeding or the results prior to this.
Right, yeah. They'll be a little bit scarier, I feel like, than people might have seen ECU as. But I think this definitely does play into a threatening ECU. If they can make it, if they can down Florida, albeit with the internet issues, I would not want to play them round 1. But Amixis, I appreciate you taking the break that we're unfortunately suffering to follow the Twitch channel. Much love. You're doing great tonight. Like, I have loved watching you play. Basically in chat too. Love it.
I was gonna say, you got the basically follow as well. You got back to back. Awesome.
I appreciate it, guys. You guys are looking great. You're getting bored on Nixis? Oh man. I hope that's just because of the break and not because it's too easy for you right now. Because it's
right,
you guys are looking clean.
I mean, yeah, no, ECU, with the way you spoke about Florida coming into this match, is almost a night and day difference. You know, when we talked about at the beginning of this stream, like, they're good, but you didn't have them rated highly against Florida, seeing as Florida has that high pressure, high speed offense. And here, I mean, they are proving that they do not care about pressure. They don't care about what's going on the pitch. They only care about taking home dubs and continuing to play through playoffs.
And that's what it's about. You just find ways to win games. That's how you advance through brackets. It's how you find the flow state, or use the flow state to your advantage. You just find ways to come out on top, no matter the circumstances, no matter the opponent, no matter how weird it is, which we got a good taste of in the last show match with Oklahoma and Oklahoma Wesleyan playing very strange Rocket League. You just find ways to clutch up and put the ball in the back of the net. At the end of the day, that's just what it's about.
Hey, basically shouting out to you that little 3v1 in game 1 was just for you, Bepic. And with that, Larry has arrived back on the pitch. We are getting down to the field. It is game number 4, 2-1. ECU stands on top. Can they take down Florida here and now, or do we see game 5 Champions Field?
And I flashed the scoreboard real fast. Check on Larry's ping. The hotspot has given him 90 ping. So it's not unplayable at all, but it is going to feel a little weird if you're used to like 20, 30, like most Ethernet connections will give you if you're in a decent location. So we'll see how Larry does with it. At the moment, it's ECU breaking out of defense. The interception no good from True Raid, but Kyan following the play up nicely. Demo counters that Florida counter. And So we see ECU take back control of possession.
Big clear from Kyan up the field. Chief is going to get a hand on it. Can Chief do something? I like the musty pass. Sadly, there wasn't enough mustard on the shot. Not fast enough to get past the defense, but Nixus could slam something home, but luckily Kyan gets a very favorable touch there. Basically looking for the double. It's not going to go their way. Nixus back again. Can they find something? Larry on 90 ping, rocking the defensive touch. Sadly, this team cannot get out of their defensive half, though. Florida is struggling currently.
Surviving. Basically a good dunk forces True Raid to find a teammate that he'll never find, because that's another dunk from Basically. Florida still able to clear the zone. Larry up for that corner read across to Kyan, who's going for the demo. Larry loses his life at the end of the play. Ahead for a head. Florida keep possession. True Raid in the air. Extra touch and forced own goal. 1-0 Gators.
That is how you come back right there from a deficit. 1-0 True Raid able to push that one home with a little bit of help of Chief right there. That's an awkward position you're going to be in. That was just a classic air dribble bump setup. Either you're hitting the ball or I'm hitting you.
Chief is beaten by Larry. As Larry fakes the ball, feeling confident even on 90 ping. ECU, even with that break, still have to keep that same momentum they've had all throughout this series. The offensive confidence they've been playing with, that just wind in their sails it looks like they've had zipping around the pitch. And there's an opening for Chief. No. And there it is. Tie ball game. ECU find an answer.
Poor True Raid. Right off the top corner of the net.
That's awkward, very awkward from True Raid. Trying to find a read, and I mean, you still gotta place that ball nicely if you're Chief. Get it behind True Raid, seeing he is that awkward. And ECU able to do it again, taking advantage of what's in front of you. Basically almost got through the captain again. True Raid is playing such awkward defense at the moment, but this time he's got reinforcements. And those reinforcements need to find a clear as ECU doing that thing again where they set up their offense and get very, very close to striking again.
Larry trying to get a team play, and they do. Bottom corner, no! It's denied by the post. True Raid gets a demo, but it doesn't matter as the counter attack goes the opposite direction and basically putting ECU up by 1. That is the most unfortunate transpiring series of events right there.
And that's where the ambitious cut in rotation from Kyan right there is just not the move. Trying to cut that play off is fine, but Larry's slow to get back in defense. You don't have that safety net, and you're challenging side on. So the offensive player's going to see you coming. No, they just have to outpace you and put a shot on net, and they've got themselves a free goal. It's a defensive rotation for Florida that just doesn't work out, and that's been the case all throughout this series, internet issues or not.
Yeah, I've got to agree there. Larry off the back. True Raid, Kyan looking for a shot. True Raid rotating up. Kyan can't help here. Oh my! Sniped the pass from midfield, and Kyan on low boost sends it home.
Nice play. I don't know how True Raid was able to get that to Kyan with 2 ECU players around the shooter. Like, that's ambitious, but that's how Florida plays, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it ties you up in a must-win game. If Florida lose this game of Rocket League, their season in the SCL is over, and ECU are trying to be the hands at which the UF season ends. The Gators the same. Nixus a chance to take the lead. It's a pass to Basically, but Larry's there in time.
True Raid, big time clear upfield. Sadly, will not be able to continue it. Chief grabs that boost right away from them, which is important too because you can see True Raid needing to juice up right there for the play. Nice pass to Kyan. Kyan fakes. Can something come to fruition? No, it doesn't. But they still remain here in the blue as the offense is still very much alive.
But that fake keeps possession for Florida. Made ECU respect it. And that leaves them in an awkward situation where they can't find a clear, and now they're having to recollect on the goal line where Basically's got control, and that's a great thing because he's able to get through 2 Florida members. Nixus and Chief next up. Well, on to Kyan, sends Chief deep into enemy territory and basically alone in defense. Up is True Raid, down is the shot. 2 go for ECU, but Florida can't get the ball through.
Jeez, man.
What?
Florida 3 shots in a row. Unable to find it off the post there. Larry missed. Oh, no.
How? How do they go from a crazy pinch off the sidewall to set up a pass to just missing a back wall read? It's Larry. You wonder if the internet's doing that, but ECU just cleaned up and got an important go-ahead goal.
That is the toughest thing we could see happen to Larry here. True Raid looking for the flick, won't find. They are out of sorts for the time being. Kaya needs this possession. Chief does not get the best touch. True Raid is not there in time. They've got one solid chance off the back wall. Larry needs to get it upfield, denied by basically True Raid, trying to get it out of threatening territory. That shot is there. The ball is down low.
Oh.
It's not in possession of ECU. Kyan doesn't keep it up, and oh no, there it is. It's done. It's over. ECU in 4 continue on to the playoffs.
Wow. Florida goes down without even a chance to redeem their fall split playoff performance. But ECU, what a story for them. Returning to the postseason after a down group stage. They make it to top 16, and now we get to see what they got in double elimination. And if they can perform like that, Taquito, there might be a run in this ECU team.
Oh, there's definitely something there, man. Basically cooking all night long, dude. That's what you want to see. Basically stay in that form. That's all I'm going to tell you. Stay in that form you played in tonight. You were absolutely lights out.
But we say goodbye to Florida. We say hello to playoff East Carolina. We got one more series with playoffs on the line in the SEL. Taquito, you won't be joining me for that one, but I appreciate you joining me for the last 2, my friend.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, and I know that I'm being replaced by somebody who is also absolutely a legend. You guys are going to love the guy who's going to come take my spot. Him and Bepic are an excellent duo. They've definitely worked together plenty of times, but I will catch y'all on the next one. Thank you for having me here, Bepic. It was a lot of fun.
Of course, it was a blast, but we got UNCC and UAH White to cap the night off with playoffs on the line. That one kicking off in about 5 minutes. I'll see you there. Welcome back, everybody, to Monday Night Lights, where it is an SEL takeover kind of night. We've had 2 SEL best of 5s, one with playoffs on the line, one with fewer stakes, but still at the top of the SEL table. And we got one more big hitter coming in tonight. His name's DJ TJ, but we got another great series coming in to cap off the night. TJ, we got UNCC, we got UAH White play-in with playoffs on the line. What are you thinking? How you feeling?
Oh man, I'm excited. I mean, I've obviously casted every Wednesday so far this season, so I'd like to say this is the most plugged into the SEL I've been, and it's been chaotic. It's honestly, as a caster, it's been miserable because you can't expect anything, you can't prepare for anything, and then we just watched Florida go down. So who knows what's even gonna happen?
I know, right? Like, if Florida can lose to ECU, then who's to say UNCC can't be upset by UAH White? Like, I was thinking the entire group stage that Group 4 was the weakest group. No offense to you guys, TJ, but I thought Group 4 was pretty weak. And then NKU comes out here, beats Clemson. UAH White comes out here and beats Oklahoma. Now, I really don't know what to think.
Yeah, and I will say that out of all the teams who have dropped, I personally believe that UNCC is the strongest, next to probably UAH Blue. But, I mean, they had to go against USC, whereas UNCC didn't really have that hard of an upper bracket match. So they've looked good recently, and they also beat UTK, and then they come into the LCQ, and they're shaky once again, and I just simply don't know where we're going with this. But I can't say I'd be surprised if we see a UAH upset.
It's definitely possible. If they can lock in, like, on paper, there is nothing about UAH White that should be beating UNCC. But, like, it's the last chance qualifier. And when you get to the LCQ and the SEL, you just take the paper, you crumple it up, you make a little basketball out of it, and toss it in the bin. Like, nothing that is expected ever actually ends up happening.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at the rosters too, like, obviously I've played both these rosters before, and I can say from a player perspective, you really don't like playing either one of these teams. They're very, and obviously this is the UAH way, but they're very grimy. They're very sluggish.
Yeah.
Like you don't expect them to chase you, but then they'll play back, and then they'll play relaxed, but then they'll demo you once again. So it's a weird system to get used to, but UNCC is just as weird in the system that they play in. So this is going to be a very odd combo because of all the LCQ matchups. In terms of play styles, this is the one that I think could breed the most chaos.
Well, if we're getting chaos, this is the time for it. Playoffs start in 2 days. This is the final kickoff of a last chance qualifier or Elite 8 match. We've come to a close. We've got Lazy ripping an absolute missile on target to open things up. A nice start for UNCC, but it's saved by UAH White.
Yeah, and of course, UAH just doing what they do best, and that's memeing, as they're somehow gonna find their first goal. And I was gonna make a comment on the Mewing Gamer tag, but Taka's got a goal in between.
Oh, Lazy and Knight just get hung up, and Taka comes in and absolutely dunks the UNCC midfield line. That is Space Captain that is actively mewing. He said it matches his profile picture, which I haven't seen yet, but that's the lore there.
I mean, SEO lore is abundant. I mean, it's a mess. Plus, you have gamer tags like Chief Not Sober, my personal favorite in the league, who are now a top 16 player in both the fall and the spring. But Coolio trying to put UNCC back on top, tying it up.
All right, well, that's more what I'm expecting out of UNCC. Just speed forcing mistakes out of UAH White, and that's a pretty big mistake. I don't know how Space Captain is playing in that abomination of a car he's rocking, but all right, it's already kind of making him make mistakes, I think.
Knowing Space Captain, oh, Taka, what a touch there. But knowing Space Captain, I think he's had fun probably the entire year. I seriously doubt there's been a single game where he hasn't smiled, but that might be wiped off his face, as that one is a very close save. And UNCC, they're starting to build the pressure, but UAH flipping it right back over. They're not going to find nothing yet.
Julio Plutio shut down by Space Captain, who finds Taka somehow with a touch towards the net, but UNC Charlotte holding on there. It's a passing play between Lazy and Knight. That's next up on the docket for UNCC, but UAH White doing well to read these plays, cut them out, and apply a little bit of pressure on the offensive end, but it's going the other way. They got to be careful because UNCC is so capable in offense. You cannot let them onto your goal line like that. I don't know where UAH White was going.
Yeah, this is exactly the UAH White playstyle. Like, they'll be at your face and they'll slow it down, but the issue is it's very hard to switch speeds against a team as feisty as UNCC, and you cannot win a 50 against that dominance of Coolio.
No kidding. Coolio coming up big there, finding a lead for UNCC. Bop's chain dash, ineffective in getting him back into the play. Space Captain finds control here, off the ceiling, finds Taka. The pass is connecting for UAH White at the moment, and that could be a win condition for their offense.
Yeah, I mean, if they can find each other, it's going to give them a massive advantage, but UNCC, they should be able, on paper at least, to outpace this roster, so you can't give them 50-50s like that, even with that horrific skyline, but now Taka going to try and win that. It's going to be wide open, but Lazy opts for a slow touch, gets bumped off, and that's not going to be a UNCC goal.
Good touch by Space Captain. Gets the ball out. Leaves it for Taka, though. Can't find it as Knight's too quick to the play. Plutio. Letting Lazy get a little bit of space to solo play. I was maybe thinking there's a passing option for a second, but just lets Lazy do his thing. And I mean, UNCC looking good right now, but they're not penetrating the UAH White back line as much as they were previously at the moment.
Every high seed, including UNCC in their upper bracket match, they've fallen for almost the exact same reason. Everybody gets into playoff mode and there's spring break in the same time frame, so you're either not confident or you're not playing enough, and you just cannot afford to play like that, and you got to be more confident. That's something UNCC, I mean, it's the reason they beat UTK, it's the reason why they almost got top 2 in their group, but we got to see it come out early.
UNCC's, they got potential to make a run, but they can't play down to an opponent that they should be beating if they are going to make a run to LAN. Space Captain, though, playing up very far into the UNCC end, takes that ball off the sidewall and slams it in as Lazy doesn't go for the ball.
And this is what you love about GC2 Rocket League. Also, peep the Bepic profile picture on Space Captain's Steam profile. You didn't notice that?
No.
Yeah, no, he's repping you there. I mean, hey, maybe he's trying to kind of reverse psychology. Maybe if he is you, then you can't predict against him.
That is, I mean, he asked me to pick UNCC, and I had no problem predicting them to win this series in public, in the RL chat of the SEL Discord. So maybe I'm part of the reason why UAH White has a chance here, but I really do think UNCC should be winning this. A team that's poised to make a run with that UTK upset, but right now, UAH White, the team with more onus, forcing Coolio Plutio to get up to make that save.
And that's almost a massive dunk for Taka, but he won't find it. But now Lazy's getting a lot of pressure on him. It's going to leave Bob with an air dribble, but it's a little awkward touch. But somehow, some way, it ends up in the hands of Coolio, who tries to go for corner, but that shot's rushed. That's UNCC playing too quick, but now Knight goes middle, open net. It's going to be a double touch, won't land. Knight misses. Coolio last man back. Space Captain in the skyline looking for a bump. He gets it, but Lazy's there, and this is somehow not in. But Bob follows, puts it middle, double commit, and somehow UNCC stay alive.
Oh, Space forgot to put the ball on target before going for that bump, and there was no one there to follow it up. UAH White so close. They're forcing UNCC to work in defense, but we're still tied 2-2 with 40 left.
Miscommunication here. Knight with not a lot of boost, but just calls his teammates off. I think Lazy had more boost than him, and now Bob looking for a bump. Might get one. It's going to be an awkward play, but he does get the 50. Taka just trying to keep this in play. Coolio going to have to rip this out. That's another UNCC possession given away, but it might be a shot, but Knight doesn't read it. That's a play that we're normally used to seeing him make.
I know, and Space Captain also somehow got that touch off the post, reading the play. He's got 0 boost, transitions the play into offense for UAH White, but Bob having to jump up here to slow down UNCC, looking for one last ditch effort in regulation, but they're shut down by Taka. Bop's upfield, Taka can't corral the ball in time though, takes it to corner. Second touch mid, but that was never happening. The center ball stuffed into the dirt, and we get OT in game 1.
All right, all my UNCC fans, you better watch out, because here comes Space Captain mewing his way to a 3-second goal to take game 1.
Okay, that is not a Bepic profile picture right there, but it's a game winner. I don't know who that is, honestly, but they're mewing. And Space Captain is looking good. I mean, the car isn't, but his play certainly is.
I thought you were being serious for a second. I was like, what do you mean? That's literally you. Wait, no, wait, it's changed. Oh, wait, it's changed on stream. Stream doesn't even get to see it. Oh, that's so lame. Okay, no, on my screen, it is an actual picture of you mewing.
Oh, that's
So,
crazy.
That's why.
All right, that
Kinda
makes more
crazy.
sense. I appreciate like that is an attractive profile picture for Space Captain. He's pulling out all the stops, it feels like, to get the win in this series. I don't blame him. Like, underdogs, you got to do what it takes to find wins, and they found game one. Like, unbelievable. It's 6 shots to 6. They went toe-to-toe with UNCC.
Yeah, and Space Captain going 2 for 2. I mean, I'm gonna be dead honest. Watching this UAH White roster, I have never seen them perform quite consistently offensively. Especially being a B team, you kind of have to fight all this stigma of, hey, you're simply not the best team at your own school. How are you gonna beat a school like UNC Charlotte?
Yep.
But I mean, right now they're throwing all that out the window, and especially when you have players like Bop and Taka who may not be scoring as many points, but their bumps are incredible. And UNCC, they've either got to pick up the pace or you got to fight back.
I mean, UAH teams have always known how to play around each other. Whether they lack in mechanical skill or pace on the ball, they somehow find ways to make games weird and find goals where you wouldn't expect them to. They are really a diamond in the rough Rocket League program. And game one found, but you need 2 more. And UNCC is just a diamond program. Very good Rocket League team, very good Rocket League school. Now, they need 3 games in the next 4 to make it to the postseason after, I think a lot of people are expecting them to make it through uppers to the postseason.
And now Bob's going to get a chance to kind of take away this UNCC awkwardness, and so far he's playing really well off it. Taka might find a shot here, almost goes over Lazy, and how about that? Some confidence from him, taking it slow, and now getting a demo is going to be Mr. Space Captain himself, and now Bob goes middle, but Taka opts to play the safe ball.
Ball off the ceiling, Taka's missed, but the ball somehow stays off. Space Captain finds half a clear, at least gets the ball off his goal line. Lazy next up, though, has room in the air. That's a dangerous prospect. He beats 1, and Knight was harassing Space Captain there on the goal line, but it's not enough. Space finds the clear, he finds a teammate, and that ball just goes in. That is the most UAH goal I've ever seen. It just finds a way in.
The spirit of B-more prevails.
Wow.
90 miles an hour, dead center. Lazy is not saving that one, and UAH White takes the lead.
I don't know how. I don't know how they find that. I don't know, Coolio Plutio. Like, you can't be taking challenges like that, moving towards the net off the side wall. It's a bad 50-50, yes, but there are very few worlds in which that actually goes in and gives UAH White another lead in this series. UNCC got to get their offense operating ASAP.
Oh no, it's Space Captain wide open net! Oh my god, what is happening here, Bepic?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm an analyst kind of caster, and I'm not sure whenever I watch UAH teams play what happens. That's a great read by Space, but UNCC feels stunned at the moment, just kind of locked up against an opponent they should be feeling free against.
I don't even know if we can use that word in the LCQ. I mean, I will restate this. I think UNCC is the strongest LCQ team overall. I don't think that's a crazy statement to make, but UAH White, definitely a team that was not on my bingo card, and also a team that almost didn't even make it. It was almost UTKY, and it came down to a singular game win, not even a series. So, I mean, what a story it would be, but we still have so much Rocket League left to play.
That's a good shutdown. Nice read off the back wall. UNCC perhaps playing a little more home in defense. Knight taking the time he knows he's got. And so he's going to dunk at the midfield line and get UNCC cooking again. Nice pass from Coolio, but it's intercepted. UAH White over that play. Taka winning a 50-50, but Coolio's there. Space alone in defense. Needs to contest 2 blue cards, and he wins. He finds an intercepted pass and gets UAH White out of their zone.
UAH White continues to do a good job of making the touches that they need to, and they may miss a clear here and there, but you know, that's your average GC2 team, and somehow they're still sticking this one out. But UNCC now finally, as we cross the halfway point, finding some opportunities. Lazy not ready for that one though, and Taka gonna beat him to it.
Taka, good interception. Knight playing this to Taka. I mean, Coolio's there, but like, why on earth would you think that's a good idea? I mean, maybe it was an idea, maybe it's just a bad touch, but regardless, these are not characteristic mistakes out of UNCC.
Yes, very uncharacteristic. And Taka, I mean, we'll say thank you very much and just walk away with that one there. And now you have a 3-goal deficit to fight through. And of all teams to put money on, UNCC's not a bad one, but so far, I don't know how they're going to do it.
I don't either. I mean, 3 goals is doable, but
How's
okay.
that?
Like UAH White goes from scoring the craziest, like 50-50 win into crazy pinch goal to just giving that up with 2 players back.
I love the SEL epic. I love it. I'm so glad I got brought on. This is interesting to say the least. But hey, UNCC picks up 1. You got 2 minutes left to find 2 more, and if you're getting goals like that, it'll probably come pretty quick.
Man, I've been working for the SEL for 2.5 years now, and there's a reason I keep coming back. It's these kinds of games and moments where it's just weird, but it's fun weird. That's a nice pass. Taka, again, being looked for down the pitch, and that is an open net space. He can do no wrong. The car is still ugly, but the shots are clean.
He goes 2 for 2 in game 1, and he goes 2 for 2 off of that absolute beauty of a placement. Again, the spirit of B-More reigns here for UAH White.
I mean, B-More's a Twitch chat right now. They know they gotta do it for him. Gotta get 2 UAH teams in the playoffs. South Carolina's already done it with Garnet and the A team. UAH still have to close this one out, and if they keep playing like this, they might just.
5-1 here in game 2 off of Taka's almost incredible double touch on Lazy, but Knight just simply not ready for that, and UNCC is just all over the place.
Yeah, they're being scattered by UAH White's offense. This is some confidence out of a team that started in the lower bracket of the LCQ. They're playing like a squad that's just finished their Elite 8 group.
They look so strong right now, and this might be the best I've ever seen UAH White even play. And still though, still got a minute 30. We're not out of the woods just yet, and also the series still is not over. So UNCC, if you can't find this goal right here, which they do, so maybe we're not done just yet.
All right, so the trick for UNCC to score against UAH White is to wait until they've got 2 defenders back and then take a shot, because they're not saving that, apparently. It's the second time it's happened this game, and it gives UNCC life.
Can't win the 1v3, can't win the 1v2, but for some reason you can flip it around and somehow get it as Knight almost finds a shot there, but Taka will read the fake or the slowdown pretty well, but Knight goes middle, but Lazy's not there once again.
Julio's downfield. That's a good pass back. Keeping it out of the infield and actually finding the teammate you're looking for. But Taka collects, guarding the midfield nicely. A passing play out. Lazy back to Knight, to the back wall, through Bop, off the back wall once more, and into the open arms of Space Captain. He lunges that ball down the field, and UAH White, they're out once again.
And all of that for 20 seconds of absolute nothing for either team. And for UAH White, that's exactly what you want, including a triple commit. Bop's almost going to capitalize, but now Knight looking for a counter, but massive dunk. Bop trying a quick turn. But again, this is another crucial 30 seconds.
Wow.
That's falling off the clock.
It's open.
It's an open net. But no, we're not going to see Mr. Space Captain / Viewing going for it.
They don't need to, though. Even if it is an open net, the fact that they're finding these bumps and disallowing UNCC offense, like, I'll just take that point and throw it out the window. UAH White is still going for goals here. What a great dunk by Taka, getting bumped into that, and then Bop's just somehow there, expecting that ball center.
And that's not just your average run-of-the-mill beat. We're talking, this is 6-2 against arguably, actually probably one of the only third seeds who were 6-1. I actually believe the only third seed who was 6-1.
Let's double check that real fast. Yes, they're the only third seed that finished 6-1. UNCC finished their group stage, beating UTK in Game 5. They lose to Bama on the uppers, which fair enough. Bama's a streaky team. You might have gotten the Bama. That's definitely a top 8 team. Or you move down to the lower bracket and get beat by UAH White, and that answers a lot of questions that you don't want answered about your team. They have to reverse sweep, TJ.
Yeah, speaking of questions I don't want to know the answers to, I am very concerned about the UNCC team if they end up getting swept by UAH White. And as of right now, it's on pace, but from what I'm seeing, just from a coaching perspective, is that UNCC is just self-destructing right now. I mean, Coolio goes 2 for 3, and that's great and all, but he's not your offensive leader. He's not who you go to for games like this. Now, granted, you got to take whatever you can get at this point, but I wonder what Big Man's saying to his team.
I don't know. I mean, Coolio's definitely the assist man. Like, the passes were on point in Game 1. That's a reason why it was so close. But UAH White, a lot of their goals, you think back to it, are UNCC defensive mistakes. Just the haphazard center ball that gives Taka a free goal, the 50-50 that just goes straight in because Coolio decided it's a good idea to take a challenge towards his net instead of away from it. Like, a lot of these are mistakes that UNCC can clean up, and they can force UAH White to earn a lot more goals, which they are. UAH White is still earning a good chunk of their goals, but it'll make it closer and put more pressure on the Chargers' shoulders.
Well, if you're UNCC, you have nowhere to go but forward. You find yourselves down 0-2 in your possible last SCL game of the season. And if you're UAH White, you've got to do something soon. That's not what you want to start with. Wide open net 5 seconds in.
All right, UNCC, if they can stay composed, and they are most certainly in contention for a reverse sweep right here. Of all the setups to a reverse sweep in the SCL's history, this one might be one of the most possible. Because UAH White, if you'll think back to my stream against NKU to close out the group stage, they had a doable 2-1 series lead that they tossed and put themselves in a 3-way tiebreaker to potentially get eliminated before even getting a chance in the LCQs. So, UAH White, they're prone to throwing against lesser teams than UNCC, so let's see how this one plays out.
Yeah, that's a good point, because that's the exact series that forced UCK's White team basically out of SCL LCQ, and so, I mean, that series had a lot of feathers ruffled for sure, and I can only imagine what would happen here in RL chat or the general help desk if this match goes the way that it has been.
Okay, more scariness on the UNCC backline, but they solidify, they take it easy. Taka's got some space off the side wall, doesn't get through Coolio quite as clean as he would hope to. So that allows Lazy a touch out to the corner and eventually a clear, a passing play as well for UNCC. No, sorry, it's just Knight passing to himself, nobody else involved.
It's starting to look a lot like what the original predictions were, as now we see UNCC doing a much better job of going early, and now they're getting these second touches. That's where you see Lazy and Coolio succeeding. But now Knight's last man back. Taka needs to beat him. He does not. Lazy looking for a quick shot. Barely beats Bob, and now demos galore. Taka needs to turn on this. He almost faked Knight, but now Space Captain goes and finds Bob downfield, who goes back to Space Captain, mewing his way. Left corner. Lazy gets it, though.
All right, nice save, Lazy. The goal line defense of UNCC's been upgraded. You can see it. Those awkward shots I don't think we're expecting before from UAH White, starting to be saved, starting to turn into clears and offense, but still to be cleaner with those touches. Julio gives offense back to UAH White as Space Captain steps up, centers the ball, and Coolio's there for a pass down to Knight. The pre-flip shot should be saved by Buck. There were 2 players on the goal line, but the Chargers find the save.
And this time they do find it, but it was still just as awkward, and it also leads to absolutely no offense. And now nobody's there to punish, but now Coolio decides to flip the field with that dominant 70 boost. Gets absolutely dunked, though, but it's not going to find the back of the net. But Bob quickly on, but it's over him. Space Captain, though, a soft touch on. But again, UNCC doing a much better job of staying in possession.
Oh, that pass doesn't connect. Lazy, though, was being chased down by Bob. I think was in position because he was dodging a demo/bump. So that helps out UNCC there, but Lazy's still awkward. It's weird Rocket League for UNCC at the moment, but they have figured out ways to get out of defense without conceding.
And now it's another shot, but wait a minute, Knight goes. It leaves Coolio by himself. Bob looking for a teammate to maybe bump, but he absolutely just leaves it away. Doesn't give his teammate a chance, but now Taka looking middle, then Space Captain gets bumped, but he's somehow still on this ball. Does get past 2, but needs to find 1 more. It's off of Coolio's dominance, but that's a great clear from him.
Lazy is looking for something creative, but Taka was already there. Knight, fast back, a little creative. Pass back to Knight after the pass back, and now we're just passing all around. No, not really going forward, but UNCC are trying to find openings in the UAH White, and they find nothing. Instead, Bob finds an up-top opportunity that is no good.
Oh, Bob, I know that one hurts. That was a beautiful setup, a beautiful pass, and what I thought was for certain a game-tying goal, but wait a minute, they're not out just yet. That's a player up. It's an even 50, but Knight's just going to have to give it away. He gets the double 2, and again, UNCC steps up on defense.
Knight, he probably could have left that one for Coolio, who would have come in with a lot of momentum for a shot on a defense that was expecting a Knight shot. Instead, UAH White forcing UNCC again to operate on their goal line, but offense, the Diamond defense does it well. Coolio transitioning, it's denied by Space Captain, but UNCC, they've got more possession this game than the previous two.
Yeah, it's a massive change of pace, and it might be the reason this goal goes in. Coolio needs to find the back of the net. The dagger will not land, and now we see Space Captain looking for boost at a 50. Gets both, goes corner.
What?
Almost gets the read. Coolio won't get dunked, but now Taka's close. He opts not to go for it just yet, but maybe he beats Knight, but Bob cuts him. And now Knight has free possession, but no boost. Bob, soft touch. It might be a counterattack, but Space Captain gives it away once again.
He's gonna dunk. Coolio Plutio, but there was no one there for UAH White. They backed off. They're refueling for perhaps one final attack in this game. Not a great ball from Space. Have two players go for it. I suppose it's a strategy for UAH White, but these powerful clears are holding the Chargers at bay. UNCC doing everything they need to do to get this one-goal lead translated into a game tick mark on the scoreboard. Bop bumping Knight off the play. It's going to come down to Space, though. Coming off the goal line. He finds a save. Shoots the ball up, but Taka can't do the same. UNCC, the first step towards a reverse sweep.
That is such a long flight of steps to climb as well, though. I mean, even given the fact that UNCC should cruise their way through these games, that after all of that, it's still only 1-0 with two opportunities that arguably UAH White should have scored.
Yeah, it's still shaky for UNCC, but I felt like their backline defense was so much better that game. I think they're finally starting to get a read on UAH White's awkward style of offense, and they were making saves. I mean, Coolio Plutio, 4 saves, Lazy found 2, and that's all 6 of UAH White's offensive opportunities in that game. So it's a little bit better on the goal line for UNCC, but that has to continue if their offense is only going to put out 1 goal.
Well, and one thing worth noting, too, is that UAH White, even though they struggled on offense, they still have an extreme amount of pressure. They are consuming 1,600 more boost than UNC right now. So, yes, UNC gets the goal and the win, but it still feels like there's only a matter of time before UAH start finding goals in bunches again.
We'll see. Game 4, ever so important with UNCC's season on the line. UAH White playing with house money here, but you get to Game 5 and you really start to get concerned about their prospects of making it back to the postseason for the first time in a long time. It's been a minute since UAH White was playing in the top 16 of the SEL, but they can do it with just a game win here. Here we go with Game 4.
The script writers doing an incredible job so far as Bop trying to continue his solid performance, and it's an open net. Taka, no! What would have been a beautiful start for UAH White is disaster. Open net part 2, but the sequel won't land either.
Oh, the sequel was even worse than the first. UAH White still can't find the opener despite 2 quality looks. And this is the part of the series where you start to look at missed chances like that. And you think what might have been if they get it, if they drop these games. But still 0-0 and UAH White still controlling from the opening kickoff.
So far, they're still keeping the pressure on, but Coolio does a great job of working his way past almost the entire team. As now Space Captain forced to take an awkward touch, but Coolio's positioning, he just becomes a ramp as now the skyline comes in, looking middle. Coolio up quickly, does beat one. Bop has 2 UNCC players, and because of that, that's not going to be a shot on net.
That's a nice collection from Space, but can't get past Coolio Plutio. Talked out to the side wall, does get through the UNCC rep attacking him, dunks Lazy all the way into the UNCC corner, but before a shot can even erupt, Lazy back in the play. Knight with pressure in a teammate's center, trying to develop a shot, but UAH White are sniffing out these passing plays that UNCC used so well at the beginning of this series, and it's resulted in kind of a stunted Niner offense.
And that's Lazy just throwing himself over the middle there, and that's a good representation. Wait a minute, Coolio's got some clean plays in the bag, though, and Knight will be the beneficiary of it.
UNCC finding a much-needed goal. It takes pressure off their shoulders, and it's Coolio Plutio back to his role, being the distributor. Great extra touch on that ball to get it center, and great finisher by the rest of his team. 90 seconds in, UNCC have themselves a lead.
But it still just feels a little shaky as they almost get a second there, and they might still find it. It's on the goal line! The that the mewing prevails once again.
The mewing's always gonna prevail, and it's done well so far. Like, Space Captain's been playing lights out for his team here. UAH, White, I just checked it. The last time they were in playoffs was a 3rd place finish all the way back in Season 2 when they outperformed UAH Blue, made a big run with B-More on that team, but the present is what matters the most, and UAH White, trying to get back there, has given up another goal.
You know, just for the sake of content, you should probably start talking about UNCC's history now, just so that maybe we get a few extra goals in the meantime, and that's what UAH is just begging for at this point, and maybe they'll find it here. If Taka can find the double, Knight will not find it. Lazy's awkward. All 3 players of UNCC is what it takes.
You want history of UNCC? Well, I'll give it to you after I talk about that shot. Space Captain, a tight angle that you can't see it, made TJ stand up in disgust. That was a filthy shot.
Space Captain just barely finds the edge of the post, and he is shooting incredibly right now, and it feels like that at this point, it's either going to be another missed double touch from Bob, or maybe it's this flip reset from Space Captain. That may be their 2nd goal, but they're still knocking at the door.
Bob beaten by Knight. Taka's the lone man in defense, and it's a hefty touch to give the ball up to Lazy. Will Knight turn on this? Of course, that's how UNCC will play, but Julio, the cooler head there, calling him off. Playing it slow, but I don't think that was the right strategy. As UAH White, when allowed to collect, find an opportunity to score. They force 2 up off the UNCC back line, but Niner defense on top there.
Is immediately in shambles there, as now we see 2 players as it's almost Space Captain with an open net, but it won't land, and now Taka maybe gonna look for a pass or a beat. He gets neither. Coolio on the counter, bops up early though. It's a solid pinch, but Lazy does read it, has more, looking for a 3rd. Taka just barely saves it, but the net is still wide open, and it's lights out for Knight.
That's a great beat by Lazy. Got through pretty much the entire defense of UAH White right there. Thank goodness Knight was there, because if you have that kind of setup and you don't convert on it with a goal as important as the 3rd is for UNCC, that is a completely blown opportunity. So great stuff, UNCC being in position.
UAH again knocking at the door, and maybe they find an opportunity here, but it's a great beat from Knight, and now Space Captain just trying to put a corner with 1:30 left. You need more than that. Is now Lazy. Actually, it's going to be Knight who ends up getting a touch and gets dunked as well. It's an open net once again. Taka does get it middle, and if Coolio gets bumped, it might be a shot. Ball still goes middle through all that, but now you give Lazy an air dribble. Actually, you don't. But now Knight gets the beat regardless. Coolio looking middle. Touch goes out. Player not going to hit it.
No, Lazy was, I think, being bumped off the play by Bop upfield. And so he's going to be the only player up for UNCC, but that is perfectly executed time buying. Lazy elected for the slow option as Coolio and Knight refueled, got them back in the play, and Knight converts on that open net perfectly.
And when you look back at SCL's history, and you look at specific games that could have changed the course of arguably the land, depending on who makes this and where the draft picks go, this right here is the moment you're going to look at. Even if UAH White does not come back, do they have the mental fortitude to make the comeback in Game 5, or are they going to do it now? But nonetheless, a decision needs to be made soon, and for Taka, it's a touch over 1, but Space Captain won't get it.
Oh, and Bop plays that out to the side where Knight is lurking. UNCC should get very close to wrapping up this game here if they can control possession for the next 5, 10, 15 seconds, depending on how their 50-50s go, or perhaps even find a 5th. That shot from Lazy is kind of weak, but it doesn't matter. UNCC doesn't need another one per se. UAH White's the team with all the pressure on their shoulders.
And now that's a crucial 30 seconds that we've just witnessed go since the UNCC 4th goal, and now UAH just trying anything and everything to maybe find one more for momentum purposes, but all 3 players up and still nothing so far as we can go down to 10 seconds.
Well, Knight is just going to finish this game off with some pressure in the corner. Perhaps a 5th goal. All right, there it is. UNCC already won, but Lazy's going to get one more for the road. What a recovery from UNCC, losing 2 crazy games where they scored 2 games in both of the first 2 of this series, or 2 goals, sorry, in the first 2 games of this series, but gave up 9 on the back end. And since then, they've conceded 1 single goal. That defense of UNCC has upgraded incredibly.
Yeah, you flip that on it. Oh, it's Lazy
What?
almost slots. How is that up?
Yeah, what?
Wait, okay, well, speaking of this series being absolutely chaotic, as UAH might find a goal here as all 3 players go, and that will not find the net. And something tells me this might be where it hits the ground unless UAH decides otherwise. Finally, it counts this time, and UAH in shambles after game 4.
No kidding. They better have some incredible mental game if they're going to recover in game 5, because UNCC has shown them everything they're made of, and everything they're made of is a lot to deal with. 5 goals conceded by the Chargers here, and again, it's a game where they find 6 shots, and that's stayed fairly consistently. 3 of the 4 games this series, UAH White's had 6 shots on target. The difference now, though, is they're only scoring 1 goal per game, and in the last one they scored nothing, whereas earlier on they had 3 and 6, so they got to find something offensively.
Well, and even though that the game says 5-1, there was multiple opportunities where I believe if UAH White actually converts their goals or their shots, that we don't see a 5-1. Maybe we're looking at 4-2 or a 3-3 or an overtime at all. I mean, the momentum is such a major part of the SEL, especially just with how nuts these games can be. And now is a focal point more than ever. And I would hope that B-More maybe hopped into VC and said a few words, because UAH White need to find the first goal here.
B-More's got to give some words of encouragement. I mean, B-More is a UAH White legend. Like, before he got promoted to the A team, he was outperforming UAH Blue with the B team at the University of Alabama Huntsville. And so he's got to give some inspiring words of encouragement to his B team before they get reverse swept by one of the best teams in the LCQ, potentially a team poised to make a run in the playoffs that can figure out a couple minor issues. But Game 5, TJ, is where we wanted to see this one as neutral spectators. It's where we want to be in the final game of Monday Night Lights. So here we go.
The chaos just seems to follow, as it almost will follow in the form of a UAH White pass. And now Julio's going to look middle to a dead player, and now we'll see Space Captain very quickly on this. 40 boost, this is enough to make a play. Does get a flick, it's going to drop straight down, but Lazy making the touch needed.
And Big Wade apparently is the guy that hopped into VC to help UAH White out. The UAH coach helping him. So we know Big Wade's got some words of encouragement. I wouldn't be surprised to see UAH White strike early.
I mean, I'd run through a wall for Wade, so I can only imagine how Space Captain's feeling as Taka is going to look middle for Bob, who goes left corner, but again, it's just such a close miss. But now Space Captain does beat 2. Lazy,
it's
the
open.
Third man, jumps for that. Julio somehow has enough time to get back, and UAH, once again, just right there.
Oh, what is that from Taka? That's UAH White getting back to how they played the first couple of games. Weird extra touches. Their recoveries were on points, just throwing off UNCC. But UNC Charlotte, they're adapting. They're figuring out ways to defend against UAH White. And right there, Coolio intercepting that passing play out of defense. But can't get the dunk onto Taka. UNCC, though, still finding opportunities that Space Captain has to stomach.
I'm going gray over here. I mean, this is too extremely close. We should not be in Game 5, but somehow we are, and somehow UAH, they've looked so strong, but now they're starting to struggle as Coolio looks for a dunk, does get it, but somehow Space Captain stays glued, and he's going to get bumped into this clear.
Lazy's taking it across his goal line. But no commitment there from UAH White. Knights pre-jumped it. That's a back wall shot. Knights falling into Lazy. Coolio's just gone. Lazy's going to be alone in a 1v3 here. Pass across, intercepted. What a beautiful read in transition.
I cannot believe that's not a goal, and now it might be disaster if this shot finds the bottom of the net, but it won't. Coolio not going to opt to take it. Lazy will, but that's not a great touch. Bob just needs to get something to the captain, who puts it on net, and Coolio is going to stay calm and composed as we are now halfway through Game 5 with absolutely nothing.
Knights, corner read. Let's play it hard off that wall, but there's a defender there. UAH White staying home on the near side. This time, though, the same deal. Space Captain alone in defense, but he makes the play happen at that near post. Pass back is going to reset the UNCC offense, but UAH White is all kinds of weird in the goal line right now. Lazy across to Coolio, off the bar. Where's the cleanup? Where on earth is the third man for UNCC? They find nothing there.
I'm so shocked, but it might not even matter as that's a mistouch. Knight's
Shots.
gonna shoot middle of the net. What a save through the bump. And one for UAH White. And now, who's gonna take it? It'll be Taka stepping up to the plate, but he won't get it. Space Captain does get a 50. Now Bob needs to get a good clear, but he will very patiently wait. UAH still staying composed, but now we are almost down to the last 90 seconds, and we still have no goal, but that might change if Taka gets a flick over one. He does, looking middle. He's awkward. Lazy, though, a great 50.
Oh, finally, UAH White was able to spring the trap on UNCC, get out of defense, and play down that same sideline they love. What a dunk by Bop. Is there a secondary one? No. Lazy, composed. Again, it's the story for UNCC. They're staying together. They're staying calm. Even when UAH White does get these strange opportunities, like, what is that? Why is that ball getting popped? And actually, it's going to help UNCC more than it harms them. Though Bop with a clutch demo stops UNCC's attack.
But wait a minute, Cleo's looking middle, and he might get a dunk.
What?
No, it's gonna fall over the net. Their own goaling, but somehow that's not in. Coolio won't reach this one in time, but UNCC looking poised as ever to take the leading goal. Knight looking corner, no double. Now Bob looking for a counter. Lazy, awkward, getting bumped. Bob maybe fakes one. He does, but he's gonna have to take a demo for it. Now Lazy, awkward. Taka going middle. The dunk, but it's not in the back of the net.
Lazy runs out of boost, puts the ball center of Bop, couldn't read it. Coolio's got an open net. Okay, no, sorry. No, there's no back. That's an open net, though. Lazy respawns. Bop couldn't read it. Taka might have overextended. There's no boost. UAH White has no boost. And that's an open net for Lazy. 1-0 UNCC with 18 seconds left.
Welcome to the SEL, and I don't know how else you could possibly describe it other than an 18-second timer standing between UAH and being reverse swept. They opt for the fake. We'll see Space Captain trying to use that corner, and now Coolio's an awkward touch high. Lazy not going to get it either. Coolio going once again. Last 10 seconds on UAH. Just live.
Oh!
That ball's not in the net. Now counterattack. Taka, soft flick, but now he bumps one. That's another player bump. Lazy just trying to ground it, but that ball is still up. Taka goes middle, has another. Ball hits the ground. Somehow, some way, it may be a miracle, it may be lucky, but UNCC finds their way into the playoffs.
Nah, it's none of that. It's clutch. UNCC stepped up in a series that did not go their way at the beginning, or really for much of the end. They still find a way to win 2-1-0 victories. Unbelievable from UNCC, and they will make the playoffs for their for the first time in their SEL history. They bowed out in the LCQ last semester. They were a game away 3 times from doing that again against UAH White, but they reverse sweep and they're top 16.
I mean,
Oh.
did it go as expected? No. Was it crazy? Yes. And was it probably this is the weirdest series me and you have probably ever casted together.
Yeah.
And you know what? I couldn't be happier with it. And I'm sure UNCC feels the same way. But, I mean, my God, what a performance from UAH White. And it just wasn't enough, unfortunately.
And that rounds out our top 16 for the SEL. I mean, we got the draw show tomorrow. Make sure you follow the Esports SEL Twitch channel to watch that at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. The top 8 teams picking the LCQ survivors for those first round playoff matchups. And then on Wednesday, the playoffs kick off, TJ, and we get even more craziness in the SEL to see who makes a run to land.
Yeah, and we will be getting all of that action very soon. Stream will be as normal as always as we kick off playoffs, and I am absolutely thrilled for it. It will, of course, be our lovely faces on the broadcast once again, and who better to ring in the final SEL playoff season of the school year than us. So it's going to be crazy. I have no idea what games are going to be streamed, but I'm sure whatever we get, it's going to be nuts.
All right, I'm rating Pyro J, as is tradition on Monday night, so go show him some love. Thank you so much for watching tonight, all of the crazy Rocket League we were blessed with on Monday Night Light 6. I'll see you later. For TJ and myself, have a good night and catch your breath.